That giant robot ain't my mom anymore, technically. It's fine. Let me get inside of it, if you know what I mean. It's Evangelion. I'm sure it's going to be just this.
Pretty much just this.
Oh, God.
There we go. That's an intro. All right. So we're talking about giant robots.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is such a good topic that Ethan doesn't even like this, but it has giant robots in it. How could that be? What
Wait, he doesn't like. You don't like Evangelion either? I'm the only one here that likes it.
No, I don't.
You-
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so-
why you're here, bud.
We've brought you here as devil's advocate.
But
if
listen,
anything.
Great.
I'm gonna come into it with like an open mind. I'm not gonna try to be a shitlord and just call it ass the whole time.
Well,
But can you open
CJ
your
will
heart?
do that.
CJ
Well,
will do
if
that
it-
for me, yeah. So I
if
don't.
it's- Again, you said that I've only seen the bad parts. You're like those people who played Starfield and you're like, well, it gets good like 10 hours into the game. And so you're like, well, you have to get past all the shitty opening episodes and then it starts to get interesting. I was like, well, I didn't know that because I just watched the episodes and I was like, it's just a kid crying. Why do people like this?
It is quite annoying. The kid crying is annoying, but in fairness, aren't we all just a kid crying? Just a little depressed. cock.
Wow.
I might have the most neutral palette towards Ava in this crew because my only exposure to Neon Genesis Evangelion was, like I said, I watched like 2 episodes at one of these boys' houses or both of your apartments, whatever. Then before that, though, my only exposure to it was fan-made anime music videos set to Linkin Park music.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of Evangelion in there. And then I watched one of the remade movies at home with my dad
You know
once.
which one? What happened?
It was
in
probably back in like 2008 or 7, somewhere around there.
Mishka's
He's
so
nothing.
geared up. You guys don't even
That's
know
all I
how
got.
much
That's all I got. I know there's
studying he's been doing.
angels that are like
a lot of
kind of robot-y.
research.
So that's my background.
that is like that's an old anime fan thing when you're like, yes, I remember the animated music videos that
Before
the fans
YouTube.
would make of,
I had to
of
download
Naruto
these.
and Linkin Park.
That's the only Naruto Shippuden I've seen. Fran, do it.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. I have to do
I
those
know.
things.
That's
I'm
why
sorry.
said-
I got distracted. Welcome to The Lore You Know, a podcast where some friends dive into the fantastical and often convoluted lore of media that we grew up with and Mischka loves. And here to bring you the mostly correct facts about made-up things this week are me, Fran.
Me, Ethan.
I'm CJ, and I have recruited the best and brightest. We had a mission to know everything about Evangelion, and I said, I can probably, I've got a guy, because I'm
You can
not gonna do it.
outsource that.
And so we've brought Epic Gamer. Maybe you've seen him if you're good at CS:GO or in CS2. You might have seen him online using his full Christian name as his username. But he's here. Mischka, thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking about this child, I believe, who is the savior of the world, but is also a sexual deviant.
Not. Yeah. I mean, aren't we all?
I mean, he was a teenage boy.
Well, I'm not a savior of the world.
Right.
This
He's
but
pretty tame compared to some of the other characters, to be honest.
that does not fill me with like a great deal of like confidence in this. We're trying to get I don't really know what the podcast version of syndicated is. Is it still just syndicated?
We want money.
Yeah, we want money. How are we going to get Daddy Bezos to give us money from this this little
From this episode, you're not.
from this episode?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
That's
Maybe
fair,
we
that's
don't
fair.
show him this one on the highlight reel.
Speaking of this episode, what are we going to be talking about? Are we going to be talking about specifically the original series, or are we going to throw in movie shit?
Great question.
Because how many remakes have there been?
A lot.
Okay, there's been a few. I consider all of the remakes non-canon.
Okay.
So we'll go
Okay.
over the original
So we're not
show
okay.
and
respect that.
the end of Evangelion, because the last 2 episodes of the show are also not canon.
Oh,
And the end
interesting.
of Evangelion- Yeah.
Is it because the last 2 episodes ran out of money and they just reused footage from the previous episodes?
No, they did that
Okay.
in 2 of the movies.
Ah.
Right.
But
That was very
the
common.
last 2 episodes, I did some research. I didn't actually look this up recently, but last time I watched the show, I looked this up, and I'm pretty sure the director like hates otakus, and he
Yeah.
intentionally made the last 2 episodes bad to like basically cuck them.
Oh,
I mean, respect. I don't know what to
Yeah.
say. That's
that's great.
I mean, that's. I guess that's something we'll see how long we go. Maybe we'll talk about to the end. But so we won't be talking about Shinji masturbating to completion on an unconscious Asuka.
We will be.
we
talking
have
about
Okay.
first of- we have to talk about that. It's
What?
the only thing
That
I've been
is
bringing up
the-
all week.
That is the opening like part of the end of Evangelion, which is like the
Okay,
climax
all
and
right,
shit.
excellent.
Right.
I'm
Oh,
glad we were
gross.
going
Nice. That's a
Gross.
good joke. This is a
Gross, gross,
climax
gross,
joke.
gross.
I don't know if you saw the Godzilla episode, but we're probably not going to talk about the crossover with Godzilla then, where the angels and
We
the
simply
angels
don't
fight
have the time,
Godzilla.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, so probably not.
Great. All right. Fine. You have decided. You have determined what is
The true
canon
canon.
and what is
Yeah.
not. You are
Right.
the lore master. You get to do this. That's actually one of the great powers bestowed upon you. So
If you
Tell us
disagree with
then.
him, please
Tell us.
comment on this video and state your case.
yeah, if you think that all of the movies are canon or something,
Or the true
I don't
canon.
know.
Or
I don't know. find a message board.
Pick
Probably
your favorite
one
hentais,
exists.
leave them in the comments. I will watch them.
He will too. He's very
Dedicated.
studious.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he won't comment back or anything, but he'll enjoy your suggestions.
Yeah. And isn't knowing that some guy's jacking off to a video that you sent enough of a
The
victory?
greatest reward.
Yeah. Its own reward, in fact. All right. Tell us about these mech children and
Okay.
their lives. I'm interested
Okay.
now.
So I'm gonna try to basically follow the chronology of the show because
Yep.
there's like some flashbacks and stuff, but we'll try to go show order. So it's present day, first episode. You're Shinji Ikari. You're a depressed little pussy boy,
Okay.
just like in real life.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm relating to this child.
Yeah, you have mother and father issues,
Great.
and your mom is dead.
Okay.
Your father abandoned you 3 years ago or something.
Okay.
Randomly calls you and says, "I need you right now. Come here."
Where do you live and how? Are you an
No
orphan?
idea.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty
You go
much.
to
You live with your
school?
teacher. You live with your teacher. Yeah, you go to school.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So your
I-
dad
so-
abandoned you. Your teacher adopted you.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Boarding
Okay.
school or something. Who gives a shit?
Okay.
Yeah, it's
sure.
Japan. Everyone loves each other. Also, it's post Second Impact.
What is the
So-
second impact?
What
was the
Second
first impact?
We'll learn more about it.
Yeah, I don't.
We'll
You
learn
can't
more
just.
about both things.
Okay, you can't.
No,
just
this is how
drop
this is how the
buzzword.
show goes.
Okay,
So we're gonna
sure.
follow it. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So
At this point,
oh,
you're not supposed to know.
There's something
Oh,
called an
okay.
impact, and apparently it happened at least twice.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So the Second Impact happened 15 years ago, the year 2000.
Right.
It changed the
remember that.
world drastically. It was like kind of an apocalyptic event, sort of.
It's
Okay.
Y2K.
It- It was kind of like Y2K. Yeah,
Oh.
the Antarctic melted, liquified.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck,
that's not
dude.
good.
I
It's
don't
really bad
think-
for us.
Wow. I don't. I
Yep.
just. Japan wouldn't exist anymore then.
It does, but it's real different.
Well, it
There's
would be underwater if the
A lot of it
There's
is-
mountains
a lot
there.
of it is. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
lot of
Okay.
land underwater. There is no more seasons. It's summer all the time.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
See,
they
it
actually
was
don't
worth
like
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What-
well,
More beachfront property. More
Y-
summer.
yeah. Well, less beachfront property because of
Well,
but different
the way it's
beachfront
charged.
Yeah,
property.
new beachfront property.
So that happened, and anyway, basically the first thing you know is you get this photo from this hot babe,
Oh,
Misato Katsuragi.
I'm familiar with Misato.
Right. She sends you a Polaroid of herself with an arrow pointing at her tits, saying, "Check these out."
Seriously?
Pretty cool. Yeah,
That is
What?
pretty cool.
pretty cool. So she's picking you up. She works with your dad. You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, you
Basically-
really don't.
Yeah,
Do
you
you?
don't. Your dad
Are you
works
getting groomed?
kinda by your father. Yeah, so he works
It's gonna be
for
like this.
Nerve,
All right.
which is a special NERV, a special agency, kind of defense force,
Yeah.
shrouded in mystery kind of thing.
I don't suppose you know what any of those letters stand for.
It's not an acronym, just a
It
word.
is just
Why'd you spell it out?
That can't
NERV.
be
Well, there's no
right.
E at the end.
yeah, it's not spelled like
Oh,
the
okay,
normal
You can look it up.
English
Sure.
word.
No, that's fine.
I don't think it's an acronym.
It's
It's
just that's
It's just nerve, but it
It
sounds
does. It's not an acronym.
It's just
I
It
know.
isn't.
just nerve with no E.
the nerve
It's,
of
ju-
these people.
it's just a German word for nerves.
On a fun
God,
note,
they
though,
love the German words for stuff.
Yeah.
the Japanese actually have a nerve disaster prevention app, which they adapted the branding from the show.
From Evangelion.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Are
They have the
are
little-
the
the little
Japanese
leaf.
are the Japanese preparing for the impacts? Like,
Probably
is
just,
that
like,
part of
earthquakes
their
and stuff? but-
national preparedness?
Yeah, I mean, so the nerve logo is, I think it's like a maple leaf, basically covering up like parts of the word nerve, and it says "God's in His heaven, all's right with the world." There's a lot of Judeo-Christian imagery.
Yes, I
In
do.
here.
Yeah.
I
Right.
do know about
I know they're called
that.
angels. Yeah.
Yes, they're called angels or like apostles, depending on the
Interesting.
translation you use. But same.
Well, we
basic
need
thing.
to get into that because we're
Yeah.
not.
Okay. So anyway, she picks you up. You're going to like the base or whatever to meet your dad.
Great.
En route, the third. Well, it's the third angel, but it's the first angel in the show. I think it's Sachiel. They all have names, but they never say them in the show, so I don't
Right.
know how they're pronounced. So the first in 15 years, like it's basically like the prophecy is coming.
Okay.
The angels are coming. While you're en route in the car, he attacks, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" Well, actually, no one's like, "What the fuck?" except for Shinji, which is crazy because
Well, just like everyone else knows about it, and Shinji's like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" And they're like, "Shinji, my dude."
Yeah,
It's like we mark time from the last time this happened. Like,
yeah.
pretty
If you as our listeners right now are feeling confused and like there's no through line, this is
That's correct.
this
This
is
is the
very
show.
accurate. This is
This is
it
the
is
show.
supposed to feel this way.
we'll
It's-
we'll backfill some stuff as we
yeah.
go.
So is this the third impact?
This is
Oh.
the impact hasn't
angel.
happened yet, but there
Oh, but these are
the
gonna-
culmination of the angel attacks will be the second impact. The first impact, no, it will be the third impact. The
Right.
second impact was the 2000 thing.
uh-huh.
The first impact we don't know about yet, but we'll talk
Right.
about it in a little bit.
Yeah, that's the big reveal.
So anyway, eventually you get to the base. You meet your dad, and
Mhm.
you're just like, why am I here? And pretty much instantly he's like, Shinji, get in the fucking robot. And then you're like, I don't
What?
know.
Shinji, I built you a big robot, and now you need to get inside of it.
He's just like, you abandoned me. Why am I here? And he's just like, well, I need you now, so I called for you. And
And
I
I need you in this
built-
robot.
I built you a robot. I sent a beautiful big titted woman to come pick you up. What do you want from me? This is A+ fathering as far as I'm concerned.
it really is like, I can't imagine a world in which I wouldn't get in the
In
robot.
which you wouldn't be like, yeah, all right, I'll get in the robot.
And yet he doesn't want to.
Right.
Ugh.
Because
So-
Shinji's main character trait
Ungrateful
is
child.
He just
He's-
is a
he's just a-
whiny boy.
he's a
who
pussy,
He doesn't want to do anything.
Right. He hates himself and he doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So you say no, and then he's just like, fuck it, whatever. And then he tries to put Ray,
Uh-huh.
the first child with capital letters,
Great.
in the robot instead. He's just like, fine, send her instead. She's beat up because she was, I don't really know why exactly, but some training thing or whatever. She's not looking so good. But she tries to get in anyway, and then Shinji basically sees her like in casts trying to get in, like in agony. It's just like,
Uh-huh.
oh my god, fine, I'll do it. But
Does
yeah,
he
the
get a
only thing-
little? Does he get a little horny just seeing her in the hospital bed, and he's like,
Probably. I mean,
But no, that happens later.
Oh,
that
okay.
happens
that
later.
does happen.
well, I can't imagine that was his first.
this is the different girl
right,
than the one he jacks off to later.
right,
Mhm.
but he
Spoiler. Yeah,
we're
doesn't.
talking Ray.
But he
This is
doesn't.
the
I mean,
short-haired
he's
one.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the short hair Ray. She's like blue hair,
right.
and she's a very cold person. Anyway, she tries to get in. pretty much the only thing that ever convinces him to do stuff is women,
Getting
you know,
hurt.
getting hurt. Yeah, so that's, I guess, at least one trait he has.
Is
that's
that
good.
I get like is that a good trait, or is that like
It's better than nothing.
I need women to be abused in order to encourage me to do anything?
It's really just
No.
classic savior complex.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
no. It's simping. He simps for them
Yeah.
really hard.
I
Yeah,
see. So
pretty
that
much.
The original
yeah,
simp.
at least that tracks. That's capital O, capital S. Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets in the robot. He has no idea what he's doing, obviously. Everyone's like,
Right.
it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, which
But
is
it's not that fine, to be honest.
it's like a big complicated mech, right? Like,
It's,
and they're
yeah,
just like
I mean, it's not that
Shinji,
complicated.
you'll know what to do when you
Is
get
it like
in there.
mind controlled or is it like
It's-
physical
it's-
mechanical controls?
There are
both?
both aspects, actually. It's
Is
not
it-
really clear what does what.
Sure, it's one of those things where it's like we designed it to be like intuitive to you, so just do what you think would do the thing you're trying to do, and it'll do it.
Pretty much.
That's pretty
So,
cool. I wish someone would
they
make a robot like that for me.
Right. Wouldn't you get in it if they did?
Absolutely. No,
Right.
That's one of the reasons this anime didn't catch me right when I started
I know,
watching it.
it's-
'Cause I simply
infuriating.
cannot relate to this horrible child.
It's infuriating watching him not get in the
It's like,
robot.
oh, you have daddy issues, but he built you a giant robot. Well, I have daddy issues, and he didn't even build me a giant robot. So, like,
Yeah,
get
you
over
don't know.
yourself.
So anyway, he gets in the robot. They launch the robot. They're just like, Shinji, just focus on walking first. And he takes one step. And they're like, oh my God, he's the chosen one. And then he takes another step, falls on his face. Robot's on the ground.
Sure.
The angel's coming.
Are the angels like also robots, or are they like different? Are they organic?
Okay. So
Like aesthetically, I guess.
aesthetically, they are organic.
Okay.
Yes.
And the robots are like big mech
the
humanoid
robots look like big robots.
Okay. And these are the Evas.
They're the Evangelions, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, he falls down. Everyone's like, "Oh my God!" The angel like picks him up. He's basically beating the Ava's ass, beating Shinji's ass.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no!" The Ava wakes up.
Not
The
Shinji.
Ava itself, not
Yeah,
Shinji. The
okay.
Ava wakes up, goes berserk, goes literal ape mode, beats the shit out of the angel, and everyone watching, like everyone in the base and stuff, is just like throwing up. They're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
So they know Shinji.
Isn't that not what they
didn't-
wanted?
Yeah, they know
Yeah, but
Shinji didn't do
They
that.
know Shinji didn't do it. They're just
Okay.
like, this Ava's going fucking crazy. And they are like, this is what the Avas can do. Because the Avas are pretty shrouded in mystery. Only like 2 people in the like nerve know what the angels are. Or
Mm,
like what they do.
what they
Okay.
actually do.
Like how they're built. Right.
Got it.
So
The
they're like
angels or the Avas?
the Avas. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah.
So humans made the Avas. Maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Mostly.
Mostly,
Mostly.
right. Mostly.
Yeah, they were made by this one woman who works in Nerve. Her name is Ritsuko. She's like the IT computer programmer girl.
She
Pretty much.
designed the robot. If you were like, hey, we need to build giant robots, I wouldn't go get our friend Justin who works in IT. I was like, well, he's good with
Well,
computers.
yeah, not just IT, but she's like the programmer. She does it all. Her mother.
I'm building a
She wears
giant
many
robot.
hats.
I'm
No,
gonna
no,
go
no,
get
see-
a programmer.
I mean, her main thing was the robots.
CJ, yeah, no,
and then she did the
you're
computer stuff after.
you're getting caught up on this. She is typical anime super genius. She can do
Yeah.
all of the sciencey stuff.
Of course,
All the
of
things.
course.
So anyway, that happens first episode. That's crazy, right?
It is crazy.
Second episode. You wake up. Well, Shinji's like in the hospital. He wakes up. He's just like, holy fuck. Basically,
He's like, did I do it, Dad? And he's like, no, you didn't.
yeah, he doesn't talk to him. His dad does not talk to him. Still, pretty much. He's living now. He gets in the hospital. Whatever. He gets out of the hospital. He's living with Misato in her apartment.
Very
They're like
nice.
they live together. They're playing house. It's pretty nice.
It's,
Um,
I love this. I like watching it. I like to pretend like I'm Shinji. It's
Right.
great.
It's great. So anyway, he starts like going to school and stuff, going through training, all this kind of stuff.
Which is crazy.
He's depressed because he's just a pussy.
Right.
He's getting bullied at school. One of the kids, like the coolest kind of kid in the class, like punches him because his sister was hurt in like in the robot fight. And he's just mad at
Oh,
him
the
about it. He's
bully's
just like,
sister, yeah.
Is this a
And he's
new
just like, this-
school? Or the same
Yeah,
school
No, a new school. He moved into like the Tokyo 3.
facility. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
Tokyo 3.
Am I
The
to
new capital.
assume that each impact made them make a new Tokyo?
Well, Tokyo's
Um,
on a bay, so if the Antarctic
first
ice
Tokyo
completely
doesn't exist.
yeah,
Right.
it would have been.
I don't really
fine.
know why it's the third, but I guess because there was in real life this is
Two
the second.
Tokyos. Yeah, so there was Edo.
This is New Tokyo, so
And then
it's yeah
Tokyo.
3.
It's Neo New Tokyo. Sure.
Right. So he's miserable as he always is.
Yeah.
Whatever. New angel
Kids
comes.
are beating him up. Whoa, where's your big fucking robot to save you? Oh, fucking
pretty
idiot.
much, and he pretty much likes it because he thinks he deserves it because he hates himself.
How did they know that he was the one in the robot?
Well, because he's the new kid, and like the robot came, and he's just like suddenly there's a new kid in school, and everyone's just like,
Okay,
"Oh, I think that's the fucking
assumes?
robot guy."
Oh,
Okay.
the robot must have brought it.
I'll
That's
say,
what,
like,
that's what I would think.
The
Pretty
hot
much.
soldier girl brought him to school today and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna do robot training after this, so
Oh,
like,
okay.
don't
There
get
you
beat
go.
up too bad."
Yeah,
Pretty
and
much.
she's like driving like a Corvette. And she's got like her tits out and stuff. And it's like then they're beating up that kid. Like, you're such a fucking loser. He's like, I know.
This is all things that happen in the show for anyone who hasn't seen it. Not joking. There
Goodness
is the
gracious.
Corvette and the big tits.
I know.
Yeah.
This is about as far as I got. I liked watching Masato drive around, and then I hated that Shinji didn't appreciate the great life he was living with
I know.
beautiful
It's
with beautiful anime
His
women.
life is
I
perfect.
think he lives with a penguin as well.
Yeah, he lives
He
with a
sure does.
penguin, pen, and 2 babes. Like, what the fuck?
Which is crazy, dude.
It is crazy. Anyway, you learn about the Evangelions a little bit.
Uh-huh.
They are powered by this, like, they're basically plugged in, otherwise they run out of power in like 5 minutes or something.
Okay.
That's like kind of a lore thing you learn.
So when they're fighting, are they unplugged and they only have like
No, they're
5
plugged
minutes?
in. They're
Okay.
usually plugged in, but sometimes they're unplugged. And in this
then
episode,
and they
they
have
get
to-
unplugged. Yeah,
Okay.
the cable gets cut, and he's like, "Oh, you only have 5 minutes, Shinji." And then he's like,
He's
a
like, well,
pussy.
I can't do it, man. I'm like, oh man, I can't commit. I can't deliver. I can't do anything. I really just want to go home to my beautiful babes and that penguin who lives at my house for some reason. I guess the
Yeah.
Antarctic is gone, so I guess I don't know where else they
Gotta live somewhere. Yeah.
Right.
They had to integrate
Um,
themselves into the new
to
society.
human society.
During the fight, his thing gets cut.
Yep.
And then the 2 kids, the kid that beat him up and like that kid's friend, are like that kid's friend is like obsessed with the angels and robots and like military stuff. So he's just like, "Hey, you want to sneak out of fucking shelter and look at the robot fight?"
I mean,
He's like, "Whatever."
most kids would like.
Yeah.
That's like like they like big trucks and like shit like that when you're at that age. I mean, I still
Fair.
do. So I don't know.
Right. So they're out and about.
Yep.
And during the fight, they like basically almost get squished.
Yeah.
And then Misato's like, "Let these kids in your robot, Shinji." And he does.
Okay.
And then they basically watch him kill the robot or kill the angel.
Yeah.
And like cry about it the whole time because he's
Yeah.
a baby.
Yep.
And they're just like, "Wow, he hates this, but he does it anyway. He's cool."
That's crazy to
Um,
me. Like if I saw a guy
He's so
doing
hard.
a robot fight, but he was crying the whole time, I would make fun
Make
of him more.
I know. It makes-
He would get bullied more at school.
I know, but that's how it goes. And then he kills the thing last second, right before the battery runs out, and everyone's like, "Wow."
He
So
did
was
it.
this a different
did it.
angel than last time then?
Yeah, it's the second angel.
Oh,
There's
okay.
there's a lot of them. There's 18 in total. Well,
Oh my goodness
16 in
gracious.
total, but this is
Is
considered the 18th.
is there like a
considered-
specific way to kill them? Like, do you have to like cut their necks like a
Um,
titan, or is it
not
just like they have like a power core or some shit?
They have a
Dismember them?
core. Usually
Okay.
you kill a core, but every one of them kind of dies in its own way. They're all kind of a little different. They all look
Sure.
different. They're all very different.
Right. They're not like a pot. Are they like the biblical angels, like 1,000 eyes and like rings around their head and shit like that, or are they just like
They're all,
things?
I mean, they're like vaguely angelic. A lot of them are anyway, but they're very different. Like one of them, so this one is kind of looks like a giant beetle, kind of, but he has like
Oh.
little tentacle arms that stab stuff.
That's cool.
The first one looks kind of like a dude, but just like spooky.
I only bring it up because I know that Lizzie and I were talking about Nope at one point back when that came out, the Jordan Peele suspense horror movie, and I guess he's like a weeb and he loves anime, and like one of the scenes in that movie is the Akira slide. It's like it's doing an homage, but like
Very wicked.
the creature, spoilers if you haven't seen Nope, the creature that they're trying to like catch on camera is like in like a behind the scenes, he was like, I wanted this creature to be like, to have a presence that if you were a person in old timey times, you would see it and be like, that's a angel, even though that's just like what this thing looks like. So
Yeah.
they like the idea was that like ancient people saw this and they're like, this must be what angels are, and then they designed angels after that.
Right.
So like in the movie, it's like the creature's like a sphere most of the time, but then it like opens up and it has like big like wide wings and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and has like a otherworldly presence, and it looks very angelic. And I think he said one of his inspirations for that was Neon Genesis, because
some
again,
of them,
he's like a weeb who likes anime.
Yeah, some of them do look like that. A lot of them just look crazy. Like
Yeah.
spooky,
So
but
Yeah.
okay,
Like Alien.
I'm sorry to ask more religion questions, but so what did people think angels looked like then? I'm confused because these angels in
Biblically accurate
Evangelion do not.
angels?
Yeah, like what is that
Oh,
then?
Fran.
Precisely,
Angels
like
are made
little
up.
cherubs and stuff.
No,
I
no,
know
no.
that.
Mishka's doesn't know what he's talking about. Angels. So like,
What is a
they-
biblically accurate one? Because I've
in
had
our-
so many
in-
renditions of the Bible in this show. So
Would you,
so
Fran, how
okay.
about you type in your Google biblically
No,
accurate
I'm
angel?
scared.
No, it's an audio
Do
medium.
that.
I'll describe it. So like in paintings, they would always make like God like a human person,
Yeah.
because
Man in
there's
his
because there's
Jesus?
because there's a line in the Bible where it's like God made man in his image. So people are like, oh, he made humans to
okay.
look like him. And so
Okay.
people would also draw like angels and stuff like that as like humans, but with like angelic qualities.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
that's
if you
not.
read the text of the Bible and not just look at all the pictures that people drew over time, in the Bible they say things like gazing upon an angel's brilliant radiance would like make your eyes bleed, you would go blind, and
Oh,
like
dear.
their omnipotent like celestial qualities were unfathomable, and that like these angels would appear as to the prophets, and they would have like 1,000,000 eyes and like 100 faces.
Okay, so they're
and
grotesque.
They're not grotesque. They're so
They're
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, they're so
They kill
beautiful
you.
you can't comprehend it.
Okay.
it's like Cthulhu, but good.
Right.
Okay.
It's like Cthulhu.
Okay.
So anyway, this one looks like a giant beetle with those crazy.
So like if
Okay.
I saw this, me being the person I'm not, my mind is not being blown beyond comprehension right now. I am not driven mad with knowledge seeing this creature. If anything, that's kind of cute. But it is destroying Neo New Tokyo.
Pretty much.
Tokyo 3.
So
Tokyo 3.
he kills it. But now he quits. He quits. He's like, I don't want to get in
course.
this robot ever again.
This is
I'm getting bullied. I fucking hate this.
this is the part I have seen up until anything after
Yeah,
this is gonna be
this
mystery.
part
Because
is hard to watch.
This has the funniest scene I have ever seen before, because Shinji's like, I quit, I'm out of here. He's in the elevator with Masato. They're going home, and the elevator doors open, and it's his dad, and he's just looking at him, disappointed. Elevator doors close, and they go to
Yeah.
a new floor. He summoned the elevator to his floor so he could disappointingly look at his son, did not get on the elevator, and then it just went.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is
It
his
was
dad
the
just kind of like
best scene ever.
Is his dad just kind of like an ominous figure in the series so far? Or has he actually like
Yeah.
spoken?
Yeah, you like can't see
He
his
speaks.
face.
He speaks.
He's
You
like
can
in the
see his face. He's got this like really like annoying like kind of goatee that borders his face, but it's not on his face. It's like just on his
Yeah.
jawline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like
I
his
mean,
chin strap.
Really, really ugly. Yeah, I guess.
He spends like 90% of the scenes
just
with
sits like
his
this.
like his
Yeah.
fingers like crossed across his face,
His glasses.
Okay.
which is
with a
you know
permanent
in
glare
part
on them, I'm sure.
right, in part so that they don't have to
If I saw that, I'd be very intimidated.
in part so that they don't have to animate his face talking, but also
Right.
in part because he's like, yes, he is constantly just the
Judging.
front of the board guy looking down at you.
Okay.
Mm.
All
And
right.
this is and this just to put this in like a historical context, this show is a little older compared to some of the other things we've talked about, but like it is a very high quality. But to do that, they had to do the old timey anime stuff that they don't usually do anymore, because like animating mouths is a lot easier these days. But like back in the day, if you want cool big robot fights, you gotta give up a little bit of animation budget for
Yeah,
when
you
they're
gotta
just
sacrifice the
talking.
mouth flapping. Yeah, 'cause
So
this is like
it's a lot of
mid-90s.
it's a lot of panning over like a still shot and pretending like it's animated with like
yeah, I don't
voice
know. I
lines
think
and
it's
stuff.
pretty good. A lot of the
No, I
mean,
think it's
other
great.
s-
I think
yeah,
the
in other
animation
scenes
holds
they
up
do have
great.
mouths. Yeah.
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 No, I think animation quality is top
If
notch for
I
this.
if I remember correctly, Neon Genesis came out like post big anime boom. So like in the 80s, there's that big mech anime boom of Japan, and then it kind of like
Mhm.
petered out, and then like Ava came back in, and people were like, "Oh my fucking god, this is great!
Uh,
Why did we
yeah,
ever
this
leave
is
this?"
this is post Gundam. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. They
So is-
look a lot like Gundams.
So are most things.
most big robots, but yeah, but like there was like a peak of animation, like budget and everything for Gundam,
Yeah.
and then it like we're kind of like at the downward part is when Ava started getting made of like budget and things like that. So they did what they could, and
Yeah, I
it
mean,
looks great. Looks
it's
good.
It turned out all
it's
right.
honestly one of the best looking animes
Yep.
Yeah.
even to this day.
it holds
I'd
up
agree.
relatively well, except for a couple parts. But
Yeah,
Um,
weird. It's almost like if they cut out all the bullshit with that kid who's crying all the time and just do the robot fights, I'd be like, nice, I like this.
but it's all a build up. You
I
have to
know.
really hate.
Well,
the
give
kid.
us the build up then, for heaven's
Okay.
sake.
I'm trying.
I know.
Um,
yeah,
okay,
that's
so
the,
he-
that's
so
the
he quits.
challenge.
He quits. He's like he's leaving. He's basically about to board the train. He has like a reconciliation with those kids that beat him up. They're friends now.
Whatever. Well, he
And
did save
then-
their lives. So.
Yeah, but anyway, he's mad because he doesn't want to pilot it. Like his dad is mad because his son's a pussy.
his son's worthless.
Misato's mad because he quit, and he's just like, God, this kid's such a pussy. Anyway, like last second, Misato's just like, wait. And he just like clicks with her that he's just like, it's not his fault. He's just like a little baby. And then Shinji like kind of understands that like he needs to do this pretty much. And anyway, like last second, Misato drives in. She like gets there right as the train's leaving. She's just like, fuck. And the train's like driving away. And then the train goes by and Shinji's standing behind
Yeah,
the train.
he's still there. Yeah.
The classic, yeah. So
So they both
all-
came. They both. The two of them are meeting in the middle. Shinji's
Yeah.
dad is still like, I hate. This
Fucking
guy."
hate this kid. Why did I
hates him
build
the
this
whole show.
child a robot?
yeah,
Ugh.
it doesn't really get better with him.
Waste of resources.
Which is pretty much Shinji's entire like reason to go on is because he wants to please his father and also the hot babes, but mostly his father.
That's.
Daddy
I
issues.
guess. Yeah, I mean, why does any man do anything? Hot
Right.
babes and to show your father that he was wrong.
Right. So it's all good again, pretty much. You know, they're all back to
We're fine. We're fine.
So next episode, Shinji's like he's got friends now, and then the Misato like they're all chummy again, and he's like doing training stuff. It's all going okay. He starts getting curious about the other pilot, the first child, Ray, and he sees her at school because they all go to the same school, and she's just like always by herself, very cold. He's given the task to deliver her like her new ID badge because like I don't know, Misato or Ritsuko is just like, I know they see
you're
him
horny.
looking at the girl, yeah.
for
And he's
her.
just like, all right, go to her house, deliver this to her, whatever.
Maybe you'll catch a glimpse
they're
of her
helping out.
asshole.
Yeah, it turns out he does.
Nice. I was wrong actually. I did see up until this part.
Yeah, this is so she comes up. He's in there like looking at like these glasses of his father's that she has because she's like obsessed with his father. Every woman in the show is obsessed with his father.
Yep.
With Shinji's father.
And doesn't give a
Except for
shit
Misato.
about Shinji.
Yeah. Anyway, so she comes out of the shower. She's like in a towel, and she sees him holding the glasses. She's like grabs him back. She's like, "Those are mine." And then like basically they stumble. He falls on top of her.
Oh my god.
She's naked. His hand is on her boobie.
Classic.
Classic.
That's anime.
And then she just like doesn't care. She's just like, "Can you get off me?" She's very like weird, cold and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the weird one.
But it makes him like her more
right.
as anyone. would.
Okay.
Well, he touched her boob.
Right.
Oh my god. Goodness
Um,
gracious.
So anyway, they go back to the nerve headquarters later, and it's kind of awkward. But she just like doesn't care. She's just like, "Get away from me," pretty much.
Right.
New
Was
Angel
this
attacks.
show written by a teenage boy? Because good gracious.
Basically.
I mean, pretty much.
This show is written by a guy with a lot of problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can get into that a little later if we want to, but
Okay.
yeah.
So anyway, the New Angel attacks. This is Ramiel, whatever. It's
Ramael.
probably.
That's how
Um,
angels
it is-
names are pronounced.
a giant prism. It is just a
Hell yes,
Like a
dude.
triangle,
That's
like a
solid-
triangular
That's
prism.
like
the
a-
kind of biblical like angel shit I'm talking about. Just like one of God's disciples, a fucking light prism that comes down from the sky and is just existing ominously over the city. That's Bible shit.
It's kind of like the Legend of Zelda, like you know, the fairy like triangle things or whatever. It's basically that shape. It's like a pyramid with a pyramid, you know,
Okay.
Yeah,
a 3D pyramid.
Yeah, like a prism.
So
Oh yeah, I know it's a octahedron, a regular octahedron.
Oh, it's a platonic solid even. Oh my.
yes, it is. Yes.
That friend, do you know about biblical stuff? Because the platonic solids and the astrology of the ancient
I
biblical
know.
are actually very closely
I know they're well
together.
linked, and there's something about elements and stuff associated with it.
The
Ow.
distance between the planets.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I don't know.
Please.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Get
So
into
this
cosmology
one,
later.
this one is different. So the other two, the
I mean, it's a
main way to kill
Geometric
an
solid. Of
angel-
course it's different.
Yeah. Well, they all are, but differently shaped. Most of them.
It makes
Most
you
of them
think.
anyway. Most of the time they kill them close quarters combat with like
Right.
this knife they have that like
Yeah.
fucks up. The angels, their main defense and offense usually is called an AT field. You don't know what that means yet, but it's basically like a force field, pretty much.
Okay.
Sure. So you
And
can't
they're
just
very strong.
you can't just pump a nuke into them and they die.
Right. They do that in
Yeah,
the first
it'll
episode.
reflect.
But it doesn't work.
They put a nuke into him and he just tanks it. That's fine.
Sure.
So they don't really work. So this one, it uses its AT field and basically shoots lasers. And like
Cool.
anything that gets him within a certain radius, like I don't know, 50 miles or something, it just like instantly lasers it and it gets melted. So they
can't go
can't
close
fight at
combat
close
this time.
quarters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically they snipe him. And Misato has this plan, like, we'll use all of the power of the grid for all of Japan. We're gonna shut it all off, put it in this one like ion cannon, snipe it. Shinji sniping it.
Hospitals.
Yeah.
Refrigeration.
They got backup
Right.
There's
generators,
like between
probably.
midnight 6 a.m. no power. Slowly.
Airplanes.
Yeah,
Everything
I mean-
for the cause.
You know how like we have those big gun turrets that are like, well, the more electricity we can put in the gun,
Right.
the bigger a shoot it will do.
Well,
Yeah.
we have that in case of an
Railgun.
emergency, and we never get to use it because the American people, they're so selfish.
Be with
And
their power.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna have to shut off the power between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. and
That's
I'm
when
like,
I watch porn.
I'm
That's-
gaming right now. If you shut off my power mid fucking
I will-
Heroes of the Storm round, I'm
I
gonna
will
be
throw
so
a fit.
angry.
I will slam my desk
I'll
and drip my
spill
coffee
coffee,
onto
yeah.
I'll
my.
spill coffee onto my computer. It will short out the whole power grid, and your fucking cannon
So
will be
this is
worthless.
this is actually one of the leading reasons why Texas decided to have its own power grid.
Oh,
because
so
they
they can do
love
the
big
rail
guns
when
so
they
much.
secede. Then
Yeah,
they
so-
can say, "All
The
right,
railgun.
destroy DC with our big
because they need to
railgun.
make sure
We'll
they
use all
can
of our
power
power."
up their stuff, and that's why those like blackouts keep happening in the winter and the summer
It
because
just
they're like
fucks
testing
up and
it.
It only gets to like fucking Alabama. It just falls on that one. Like shit, we done hit the
man.
South.
You know, I happen to think that a lot of Texas's policies are bad, but
That
if
one's
they
good.
have an anime railgun, I don't know. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe they're
The
on the
right
right
to
have
bear
you
track.
arms,
seen how
good
empty?
actually.
Have you seen how empty Texas is in the West? Who knows what's out there? Definitely
You're gonna-
railguns connected
A
to their
really-
power
A
grid.
really big anime railgun. All right, I like
All
it.
right. So, the like kind of the lore thing that happens then is that Rey is on defense. She has this like heat shield, and like the first shot misses because the angel sees the shot coming and he shoots back, and they like interfere with each other, and they like go all crazy. So she tanks the shot for him, and then she's just like in pain, and he's just like, "Oh my god, this is crazy."
So
And then he shoots the.
she has her own Eva.
Yes, they both have their own Eva. She's in Eva 00, which is like a prototype.
Okay.
He's in Eva 01, which is called the test type,
Okay.
which is the next.
So
version.
she was trying to pilot 01 when she like
yeah,
had a
when
bad
she-
time.
Yeah.
at the
But
beginning,
it wasn't made for her, so I can imagine
It wasn't
that
made
didn't
for
go
her.
great.
She can do it, but not super well.
but not great.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah.
She can't drift with
but
it
it's
or
better.
whatever.
But it's better. And Gendo favors it the most for reasons we'll talk about in a little bit.
Sure.
So anyway, they kill it. He's just like, wow.
He snipes it. He just like
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah, it's all good. So the
Everything
next
worked out.
episode, we meet Asuka finally.
Finally.
The redhead girl.
The redhead.
Yes. She is the
Basis
new
for all
pilot,
Sundares.
the third child. She's from Germany. She's got her own Ava 02.
Isn't she the second child?
No, she's
Or-
the Ray's the first.
Uh-huh.
Shinji's the second. She's the third.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So, they're going to meet her on this boat. Like the German or the UN is delivering it from Germany on this boat.
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. And
Because
then
it can't go by itself because it gotta be plugged in.
Gotta be
gotta be
plugged
plugged
in.
in, and also they don't want to have a big robot walking around Earth and stuff to scare people. Only really Japan gets to know about it.
Okay, this is a media blackout on all this angel shit for the rest of the world.
Pretty
Yeah,
much, yeah.
yeah.
Social media
The
didn't
second,
exist.
the second impact, they don't know what happened, as we also don't yet know what happened.
Yeah, no, like
Did they do the thing
the
in
rest of the
Akira where they're
world-
like, yeah, it was probably a nuke or something?
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
they said it was
my
a
man.
giant meteor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Classic.
I mean, and
Literally.
to be fair, if you found out somebody was like, "Oh yeah, do you remember when that big meteor hit? That was actually gigantic biblical angels that we fought off with secret giant robots." You'd be like, "No, well that person is insane."
Yeah,
clearly.
that's probably not
Also,
right.
only children can pilot the giant robots.
Yeah, they have to be
okay,
11.
all right, Grandpa. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe now I will be more open-minded to know that that all theories have a grain of truth in them. Perhaps.
I don't know. I think the child piloting the
Perhaps.
robots is probably the most believable part of that because child labor for a reason, right? It's small space. You gotta just
Children
put them-
yearn for the mechs.
Yeah, they do.
Except
So we're meeting
Shinji.
Asuka on the ship. Instantly, she's like not very nice. The
Right.
first scene is she's on like this, carrier, and the wind blows and her dress goes up, and then everyone's like, "Damn!" But she slaps them. She's like, "Wow, you fucking looked at me."
You
Hers.
guys are
Yeah.
pedophiles because
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
guys are
child.
perverts. Yeah. Well, they're
Yeah.
also children, so she doesn't say that, but
Oh well.
Pervs, though.
okay.
she slaps them anyway.
Well,
Um,
I'm not the wind god.
Right. But so basically, she's mean to everyone. No one really likes her, even though she's a hot babe.
Right.
Um,
It's a very horny anime.
it is, yeah.
Mhm.
So we're on the boat. Also on the boat is Kaji, which is Misato's old boyfriend.
Hmm.
He's basically a spy, but he kind of works for Nerve and also Nerve's like funding agency, which is called SEAL in all caps and like SEELE.
Hmm.
They're like kind of basically the Illuminati.
I found that extra E from the nerve that they got rid of.
That's where I went. So anyway, he works, for some agency, and he's there
Sure.
too. And Asuka's obsessed with him because he's like a cool guy and he's older and stuff.
Right.
And Misato is awkward around him, and it's just like this whole thing.
Because he's seen her naked.
Yeah, and stuff. Anyway, while they're on the boat, what do you know? Angel attacks.
Oh my
This
god.
angel,
What are the
Gog,
odds?
Gagiel or something.
Gagail? Gagail?
Yeah, that's probably right.
Or it's probably Gigariel.
No, there's no R.
You
It's
could,
Oh,
you could
geek-
look them
No,
up.
it's
Geek
definitely
A.
GAG.
H-I-E-L.
Oh,
Yeah, whatever.
Gag Gagail.
Yeah, probably. Basically a big like primordial shark, kind of.
That's cool. They're saying,
Pretty cool.
all right, like a big megalodon.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's nice.
So it attacks. Asuka's ready to show off because
It
she's
is pretty
like,
cool looking.
yeah, it is pretty cool looking, and she's like a super genius. She graduated college early. Even though she's 11, she's like built to pilot the mechs.
Is she
Actually
11?
11?
She's 11, yeah.
Great.
Uh,
Oh, my God.
She's 11?
Great.
The
Everyone's
redhead?
11. All the kids, yes. They
All
have
of these
big
children
titties.
are 11?
Yes.
Oh, good gracious.
Fran,
Okay.
Listen,
Fran, stop
some-
objectifying the children.
Sometimes girls get puberty a little earlier than boys, and
Yeah.
they just become
Thank you for
hot
explaining
anime
that to
girls
me, Ethan.
super
Yeah.
early.
And it's not weird because we're also 11, remember?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right. Yeah, listen, I may be a 30-year-old man,
Interesting.
but the
Interesting.
character who I'm supposed to relate to is 11.
The theorem being posited here is that as long as a character in the anime you're watching you choose to relate to is age appropriate, it's okay for you.
Yeah, if she 11, I'm 11.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
if she's 11, I'm 11. I don't know.
So is Misato just like 16 then?
No, she's 30. She's
Oh,
30.
She's 30.
She is
She's
the best
actually an
girl
adult.
and
Yeah.
age appropriate, so it all works out.
Yeah,
Right.
but I mean, but she is also giving weird vibes to an 11-year-old.
Yeah, but it's for reasons.
Yeah, it's for reasons. She's an alcoholic. She's perfect.
Yeah.
She would ruin your life, and you would enjoy it.
Yes. So anyway, Asuka's ready to show off. She's like, Shinji, get in this mech with me. Watch me beat this fucker's ass. And she is not in water gear. Like, she's not in water mode, wherever they call it. So she can't, when she goes in the water, the mech doesn't work at all, basically.
Great.
And she tries to like step on the boats and like do cool stuff, but she instantly falls in the water and then she's like useless.
Isn't she a genius?
I mean, she's not really that smart, to be honest.
Book smart.
Great.
Book smart.
But
not
they say
smart,
she's smart.
Right?
Yeah. She's very cocky. She's like
Yeah.
super cocky.
Okay.
I
so
mean,
she's like, I graduated college, but it was like an online degree from like DeVry or whatever.
No, it was real.
No,
I mean, her.
honestly, this is one of the realest things. I have definitely known that girl who is quite intelligent, but because she's a woman, like, she's been looked down on and feels the need to prove it, and thus makes a fool of herself. And it's
Ethan, we
just
can't talk about the people we know on the podcast. What if they're listening?
Yeah. So anyway, they kill it in a cool way where it's just like they basically act as like live bait, and like they use their like cable that they're plugged into that's hooked up to the ship as like fishing reel, and then they like the shark bites him, and then they reel him into the big ship with the big cannons, and then he holds the mouth open, the big cannons shoot inside the mouth, and they blow up, and it's really cool.
So conventional weapons can destroy them.
Yeah, up in their guts. Yeah,
Gotcha.
because they're inside the AT field. The AT field is impenetrable.
I
much.
see. So you just have to be close enough to be in.
You gotta be
their
in them.
AT
Inside the field. That's why close
Okay.
combat.
Let me ask you this, Mischka, and maybe I'm jumping the shark a little. Thanks, Fran. What
Yeah.
are do the cables that they're connected to have a name?
Yeah, they're called the umbilical cables. Thank you for
Interesting.
asking.
Interesting. That's that's interesting. That's an interesting choice of verbiage.
Real time clarification.
Yeah.
Rei and Shinji are 14, not 11.
They call themselves 11 in the show, but
I also thought they were 14, but Mischka was really confident.
maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure
Maybe
they say
his
11
dad
in the show,
abandoned
but-
him when he was 11.
Okay, so that's all good. Guess where Asuka lives now that she's in Japan with
In
With
Misato.
Shinji.
Misato's house with
Yep.
Shinji.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Lucky,
they're all
lucky him.
lucky him.
listen, they've got all of this funding for the gigantic robots and such, but they can only afford the
Well,
one apartment.
it's not for the money.
90% of Japan's underwater, Ethan.
Yeah, it's not money. Misato requests it. She's just like, it'll be good for him. You know. She's got-
Misato. Okay, so does she believe that if Shinji is like horned up, he will do better in the mechs?
That's
Yes,
real.
because
yes.
that is what happens.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Great. So she's getting him all hot and bothered on purpose because she is like,
He's too much of a pussy.
if
Needs to man up.
if he's worked up by some ladies, either me or the girl or this other girl or this coworker that I probably definitely experimented with for a while.
Yeah.
Then he will pilot a mech better.
Yeah.
That's
It
true.
works.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah.
That worked for me.
So next episode, kind of a funny filler episode, but basically, they're butting heads, but they need to work together.
Yeah.
There's this new angel, Israfel probably. He attacks, and they're
It's
both like
a filler episode where they actually do fight an angel. All right.
they do, yeah, but it's very goofy.
Yeah.
So anyway, they attack. Both of them try to kill him, and they both get beat up, just like instantly. Because they cut him in half, and then he like regenerates two bodies. So
That's
there's
cool.
two of them, and
That's
then they're just
cool.
like, oh, crazy. but then they nuke him. It doesn't kill him, but it
When will
like
they learn?
They've tried this before.
it gets him like
Are we
beat up, and he
surprised?
has to like sit there and regenerate for a while.
Sure.
So they're like, all right, this buys us 6 days. I know exactly what we need to do for these 6 days. Instead of killing him more, we will prepare. Shinji and Asuka, you guys need to, get over your differences and learn to work together because you have to kill these two halves at the exact same time.
Oh.
And to do that, we'll train with
And it
like
probably won't make 4, but we don't know that, but probably not.
right. So we train to this like musical number, and we like basically choreograph our whole fight, and it's all cool. And the whole episode's like we don't work together, we're incompatible, and then
Right.
Ray
They have to learn
and
to
then-
drift.
They learn to
Right.
drift, right?
They learn to
Yeah.
drift, yeah. And then Masato's like, all right, Ray, you try it with Shinji. And then they're instantly in sync. And then,
Oh.
sorry, Alexa's talking.
Team
I
building.
was like, I really was confused. I'm like, I thought you lived alone. And there's a woman's voice in the background. I was like, oh my God, did you invite a lady over? And you're like, hold on, babe. I got to
I
record
need
a podcast.
2-hour podcast. Yeah. Okay, well, it's playing.
How do you think he got her in the apartment in the first place?
Okay.
Oh my god.
And so
yeah,
anyway,
definitely
Asuka gets
get that.
mad, and she's like, all right, I'll do it. And then they sync up, and then they kill the robot, and that's all good. And then they're like kind of friends, but they still hate each other.
So it's
They
the
learn
team
to-
building episode.
They learn to work together.
They learn to work together.
Because Rey and Shinji work together, and so Asuka, even though she doesn't like Shinji, she's like, well, no one's gonna do a
Better than
thing
me.
better than me, so I will work together because of
I hate her.
the-
Yeah.
Great.
Fine. Next episode, nothing, really different happened lore wise. They found an angel larva in the magma underneath the earth, and they're like, all right, we're gonna capture this one so we can study it and figure out what's going on.
I'm sure that's safe.
Yeah, long story short, they try to capture it. Asuka wants to do it because she thinks she's the best still, and she's like, all right, I'll go into the lava in this magma protective suit.
Right.
And they go down, and then it's just stressful because it's just we're not deep enough, but it's too deep, but we have to go deeper, all that kind of stuff.
You know, the usual stuff.
So they go deeper, they find it, they capture it in this cage thing, and then as soon as they do, it hatches and it breaks out, and it's just oh fuck.
But it's in the cage.
Yeah, but it breaks out insta. So it's called Sandalphon or something, Sandalphon maybe.
Oh, that's a demon name. That's not an angel name then.
Oh.
Yeah, and on the wiki it tells you what
Soundathon.
all the names mean, but
Yeah.
this one means the brother apparently.
Means big chungus.
Oh,
So anyway, it's this magma, lives in the magma. It's impenetrable by their weapons because it's super strong against magma and all that stuff.
right. Well, it's been living there, so you would assume that it's at least resistant.
Yeah. So she fights it. She drops. They have this knife. I don't remember what it's their special knife. It vibrates really fast. Has an AT field and it can penetrate their skin.
I see.
Okay.
So
This
she uses
is,
that
This is the thing from Dune, I think.
kind of. Yeah.
Is that the Ethan's read Dune? It's the
I've read Dune too.
they have the force fields that don't block.
Oh no, those things
Doesn't
fast
block
stuff,
movement,
but,
but
not
if
slow
if
stuff.
it's moving too fast, then it blocks
Yeah,
it. But if it's
it's
not moving that fast, so you have to slowly slit their throat. if
It's
you wanna
not
kill
really
them.
like that.
Oh,
It's more it resonates with the AT field, so it
Oh,
punctures
Oh,
it
okay.
basically.
so it's,
Okay.
okay. Just
so
cool,
anyway,
cool sci-fi
She
shit.
she has hers. She tries to kill it. She drops it. She's like, oh fuck.
Well, yeah.
I'm
Is
defenseless.
she
down
in
here.
lava? Where did she drop it?
She's in magma. She dropped it, but yeah.
Where would it?
It real heavier than magma, so it's
Yeah.
sync.
Sure,
It's sync.
it's made out of fucking
It's denser
osmium.
material.
Yeah.
So Shinji drops her his through the throws it through the magma, and she catches it. And it's all cool, and she kills it.
Nice.
That's
Everyone's
pretty
actually she couldn't kill it. No, right, hold on. She couldn't kill it because of it's too strong. But she realizes that if she cools it down, it'll break basically because the pressures will be different and all that stuff. So she's got her coolant tube that's going into her suit that keeps her alive. She's like, all right, I'll cut this, put it in him. It'll get fucked up. I'll stab it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So she does that,
Good problem solving.
and yeah, and then last second, the angel slices the rest of her cables, and she's like, oh no, I'm gonna fall and
I'm
die.
gonna die. I'm
Mhm.
in magma.
Yeah.
So in magma right now.
I'm so in magma right now, but Shinji saves the day, sticks his his raw mech
No.
robot hand, not the raw hand, the mech hand, but not
Okay.
not in like protective suit,
All right.
through the magma. She's like thousands of meters down, but somehow still grabs her anyway with just his arm. Makes no
He's
sense.
got an Inspector Gadget like.
They actually, their arms do grow when they need to sometimes. It's kind of crazy.
Okay,
But
well then.
I don't
there
know.
you go.
I don't know how this one worked, but it worked. He saves her, tanks the magma with his hand.
Fucking Michael Jordan and Space Jam.
Yeah, saves her life. And
Yeah.
now she's like, wow, Shinji, you saved my life. I hate you a little less.
Interesting.
But I hate you actually more because now I owe you.
Because right.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that kind of character. So is her Eva just gone? Is in the lava?
No, it was in the suit. It was fine.
Okay.
He
It
pulled
was
up
just
the
like
mech,
it was
sounds
gonna
like.
fall was
Oh,
the
I
problem,
see.
and it can't swim up.
Right, because stuff
Yeah.
just falls through magma. That's how it.
Yeah.
That's how it
Yeah.
works.
There was like flow. The flow was down.
Right, magma's
Um,
known for flowing very fast, like a river
Yeah.
current. It will pull you under
Right.
with the undertow. Of
It's
course.
like quicksand.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
Hot,
anyway,
Thank you.
hot quicksand.
yeah, that's that episode. All good. Next episode. It's kind of like lore stuff. The like 3 children, like the 3 mech robots or the pilots.
Dude,
are,
lore
like-
stuff is what we're here for.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
whole point.
The whole
Yeah, but I
point.
mean, it's pretty slow. It's like they're just like talking to each other, getting to know each other. They're just like kind of all.
Oh, it's
Asuka's-
relationship building stuff,
I
Yeah,
hate
basically.
that
not
shit.
necessarily lore
Yeah.
stuff.
Get back
Right,
to the
yeah.
but get back to the mech fights.
The real lore, yeah. So while they're like walking and talking,
Bonding.
basically power to the nerve headquarters is cut, and they're just like, wow, what's going on?
They probably fired that
Um,
big cannon again.
No, this time
Is
it's
that
cut.
Texas
I actually don't know
power
why it's cut, but it's cut. And then the kids don't know about it. They're just like walking around like in the city. But someone sees an angel coming, and then someone sounds an alarm, and they hear an alarm. So they're like, wow, we got to get to base to see what's going on. So they like walk into the base and like break in basically because there's no power on any of the doors. So they crawl through these vents and stuff. It's like the whole episode's basically them like kind of working together and getting to know each other a bit more.
That's good.
It like culminates. This angel is called Matariel. It's basically like a big like water bug that kind of like skirts on the water.
Okay.
Oh, I love those
Yeah,
little
yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like a big one of those, but its body has like a giant eye on the bottom, and it cries acid. Super
Sure.
acid,
Yeah.
and it's like melting through the base.
Yeah, I
That's
like
great.
that.
And like, there's
That's
no
cool.
power, so they can't, they can't
Does
deal
it
with it.
does it need to be sad to do that? Do you think, or do you think
no.
it just does that?
I think it just does it.
Just
That's-
weeps.
Yeah, it's like oh
Yeah.
People
So-
people find me distasteful because of my giant acid eyeball. It's
Yeah.
a
So
self circle thing.
anyway, the kids break in. They like launch the mechs with like diesel engines and hand power and ropes and pulleys and stuff, and then they
Analog.
Analog, right?
right, and then the
crazy.
3 kids like they work together. One like tanks the acid, and the other one like has like covering or like they dropped a gun, so one like goes to get the gun, throws it back up to Asuka, and then Rey like tanks the acid with her body. Maybe the other way around. I don't remember who tanks it, but anyway,
So-
someone does, and then Asuka like shoots the.
So the Evas are very like
They're basically
flexible.
indestructible. Yeah, they're basically indestructible and super strong.
Okay.
Okay.
Are they made? Do they say are they like made of a certain thing that makes them like?
In the next episode, actually, it's basically when we start learning about it. So basically, they kill it, whatever. Next episode, Gendo, who is Shinji's father, the commander guy, and
Yeah.
like the lieutenant commander. I don't remember his
Mhm. Ominous guy.
name. Yeah, he's actually pretty cool. But they are in the Antarctic on a boat. Like, there's like nothing around. It's like the second impact site.
Right.
So like this episode is like kind of lore building and like talking about the second impact, and you learn about it a little bit. So basically, the second impact was there's this seed of life, like this progenitor named Adam.
Okay.
He is
Of course.
yes, he is the like. There's like some number of seeds of life that are like the essences of existence or whatever. So he is one of them. This like ancient god race like went extinct, but they had these like seeds of power, whatever, seeds of life. So Adam was one. And
He's a person, a physical like
Adam?
humanoid. Yeah.
he's a humanoid. He basically looks exactly like the Evas, which is crazy, right?
Wow.
Is he the size of a Eva, or is he?
Yeah, he's huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
Oh.
a.
He's not a person. He's not a person. Yeah,
He's a
like this god.
being?
Oh, he like is a Eva kinda.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
So
but the
The-
humans didn't make him like the rest of the Evas. He's
Right.
like
He just is.
Yes.
he's an
Yeah.
Okay.
entity.
yes. So the
Okay.
second impact was that it said that if any of the seeds of life come into contact, there's like, I don't know, 12 or at least 2 of them.
Well, right,
It
there
will
would have to be.
trigger basically the impact. It triggers like this huge explosion, like matter ceases to exist in a certain radius. It's like really
So
bad.
It's, okay. This is what they're
Um,
trying to do at CERN right now.
Yeah. Notice how CERN and nerve sound kind of the same.
Whoa, makes you think, doesn't it?
3 of the 4
They both
letters
have
are the
er.
same.
In a slightly
Oh.
different order. Yeah, it's wild.
And there's
And the
like,
other 2 are right next to each other on the keyboard.
Wow.
So if you were just
They are.
smashing it out.
Oh, whoop, I fat fingered it. No, wait.
Oh wait,
This
hold
is
on.
what we this is
He's
what we
perfect.
needed.
You've done it. You unlocked the
So-
secret.
Yeah. So that is what triggered the second impact is Adam. Basically, they found the embryonic form of Adam,
Okay.
ADAM, his body.
Okay.
And they were doing science on it. This is called the Katsuragi expedition,
Okay.
and Katsuragi is Misato's last name.
Oh,
So
Sure.
that's kind of crazy.
what are the
Um,
odds?
Yeah, I know it's really
it's just like a
coincidental.
coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah. So it came into contact, whatever, second impact triggered.
So Adam
Soc-
came into contact with a different seed of,
With a different seed of life.
Of
We don't really
life.
know what one or how it happened. We don't really know yet.
and that
but that's-
caused the
that's what
second
Presumably
impact,
called
and that's
Eve.
why the Antarctica is gone.
Melted.
Exploded.
It's not called Eve, actually, because
Oh.
if you notice, Eva sounds a little bit like Eve.
It does,
Okay.
friend. And if you were astute, you would have noticed that already. That's the Adam and Eva's.
Yeah, and Eva is made from Adam. Isn't that
Uh-huh.
crazy?
Did they like
Yeah.
tear out one of its little ribs?
Ribs
and
and
Not
they-
Maybe
rib.
things.
Not they didn't really say, but pretty much, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Friend, you are going to
Sorry,
learn
I
all sorts of
forgot
Bible
that
stuff
part.
today.
Also, that's a mistrans. That's like a different translation of the Bible based on its original text, but that's fine.
Yeah, okay. I'm
whole
gonna
rib
take
thing.
I'm gonna take your word on the Bible, friend.
From what I was learned,
There's a lot of Bibles.
is
There
that
is a lot of Bibles.
rib thing isn't necessarily true depending on the.
Oh no,
translation.
rib specifically doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. It's of his body though, of
Yeah.
his flesh.
Yeah, they tore off his second penis, which all men could have had, and then they.
And that's why we hate
But-
women so
that's
much.
why we hate women as
I
much as
mean-
we hate our own lack of a second penis, which
It
is a
is-
lot.
I would be more confident in myself if I had 2 penises. I will say.
I
Or at least
honestly,
one
I would-
normal size.
No,
penis.
I would not. I would be like, now have 2 things to worry about not being up to snuff as opposed to 1.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
You can go quantity over quality at that point, though, right? You can
I
just
don't
be like,
think,
well,
no,
But if
because everyone
everybody
else
had
has a
to-
set. Yeah, everyone has 2 dicks. Everyone.
well, also, but there's no women to impress with our dicks, so
Well, that would
Just
only
stress
that
other
would
men.
only amplify it more because women aren't going to be like, you got a bad dick. Generally speaking. But men, if you got a bad dick and they see it, they're like, that's a bad dick. I'm sorry, brother, but I just am not enamored with it.
I'm not into your dick. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, bro.
God, that is no, we're moving on.
Yeah. Okay. So this is like kind of what we've gathered with like watching, Gendo, Ikari's dad or Shinji's dad, and like talking to the other robot,
So,
whatever.
so
We kind of
hold
learned
on.
about it a little bit.
So was Adam's embryonic state in Antarctica
Yes.
then? Okay. All right. Just
Adam
making sure
was
geography.
was Adam the second impact, or bringing one of the seeds in contact with Adam caused the second impact?
Yes, that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
when
That was the
Adam
second
came on the second seed, that was the
Right.
impact.
Never shall the twain touch. That's what the Bible says, friend. Never
Mhm.
let never let the seeds touch.
Don't cross the streams.
Mm-hmm.
So while that's happening, the 2 head honchos are out of town.
Mhm.
Angel attacks.
Damn.
So Misato's third in command. She's in charge. This angel is flying in orbit. His name is Sahaquiel or something.
Sahawk
Sahaquiel. It's
Sahawk-whale.
basically like a Pokemon unknown looking guy. It's
Oh.
like a big eyeball with big
With, like,
hands.
antennas. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Floating in orbit.
That is a
and
biblical angel for sure.
Yeah, and its attack is basically it's like dropping chunks of itself onto the earth, and it's like gaining speed and like hits the earth, and it's like big boom.
Wow.
So it's like
called
aiming.
a kinetic weapon.
Yeah, so it's aiming for nerve. It's like using.
But
those
it's in space, so it's a very difficult shot.
Yeah, so it's practicing with like bits of itself. And anyway, they're just like, all right, based on this math, we know when it's gonna land, and it's gonna land its whole body on nerve. In this like general area. So Misato's plan is just like, all right, robots, you guys are gonna catch it with your hands. And then everyone's like, this is crazy. And then she's just like, it's the only thing. It's got like 0.0%, 0.03% chance of working, but it's the best chance of all the things that we had. And they're just like, whatever,
Okay.
you're in charge.
Better than zero.
All right.
Yeah. So. Yep.
So they're gonna go catch it like the giants in Majora's Mask catch the moon and just toss it back up.
Or
like
no, they're just
kill
gonna
it,
catch
or
it.
yeah.
They catch it. Yeah. So that's pretty much what happens. They do catch it.
Fantastic.
Shinji catches it first. The other two come and like help him.
It's a
and
multi-person
then
job.
Yeah, and then it blows up after they catch it, but it's fine because the robot,
The Evas are indestructible.
super strong,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
So it's all pretty much fine.
This is a good question for you, Mishka, because you found your way on this podcast because we know each other from the old days. But when we were ever studying the mathematiques in our younger years, did you ever see moments in movies where they're like, I used math to determine the frequency and the location of these impacts, and I've deduced that they're aiming to hit here, and they'll do so in X amount of time or whatever. Yeah. And they do the same thing in in Pacific Rim, where the like genius mathematician is like, I've been analyzing the frequency of the monster attacks, and it's and then you're as a kid you're like, oh, I can't wait to do math so I can like do that kind of stuff, and then you're older and you're like, they just did like a square,
it's just literally a straight line,
square curve,
yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, according to what the computer says these numbers mean, number keeps going up. So
yeah. It's a good lead in because next episode a lot about computers.
Oh,
yay.
Next episode they're doing some training stuff to like this whole kind of thing. Like the reason the pilots are necessary and like they're special is that they synchronize with the Avas.
Okay.
And
because otherwise the Avas are alive?
The Avas are on their own. The Avas do all the work, obviously, but the whole like the pilots exist purely to synchronize with them,
right?
And like make them active or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. This is just a big O. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just any robot show, pretty much.
Right.
Sometimes the robots are just robots, Ethan, and sometimes the robots are giant flesh monsters that attack other flesh monsters.
They are. At some point in this episode, like I think when Shinji catches
unbirthing, I believe
catches Asuka from the magma, the hand comes out and it's a human hand. It's just like literally a human hand under all the robot skin.
Oh.
And then everyone's like, wow.
Whoa, gross.
Wow, that's weird.
That's crazy.
Best to not ask a follow-up.
Yeah. So this next episode, they're doing training stuff, and then they're just like, wow, the purity here is not good. That's kind of weird. We got to fix that, whatever. Deal with it later. Turns out impurity was an angel attack.
Oh, no.
Irael.
Irael?
Yeah, maybe. Is the angel. It is a... It is basically a...
it's Irael. It's probably Irael.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Is a biological computer. It's like all of its little, cells form a computer, basically.
Okay.
So it is hacking the Magi.
All?
Yeah, it's hacking the Magi. It like is growing on this Ava body that they're growing to do science on or whatever. So it infested it.
So they grow Avas.
Yeah, they're obviously biological, so they make them somehow. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
and then they armor them.
They armored them with armor, even
So
though
how did
they
this-
really don't need to.
How
Oh,
did
gotcha.
this angel get in this close to the
we don't
Ava?
really know. Like, there's just impurities in the walls. They're just like, well, we really need to fix this place up. It's falling apart. These things
Impurities
are
in
Okay.
the
fucking us up.
walls.
Yeah, I mean,
There's-
like
They
it's
did
just-
the
it
math.
just
They
got
ran
in.
the numbers, and there were impurities.
It just got
and-
in.
The math
Okay,
said that they
so
needed
it's
to
like-
fix that up.
It's like black mold, and then it got in the computers, and then it
Well,
hacked
no, it got
the
in.
Eva.
It got in the body. It got in the flesh first, and then
Right.
it turned itself into like a biological
and,
computer. they
and,
say.
and it like hacked into the baby
Yeah,
Ava. And
because the Ava was like hooked up to the computers to do science, and then
Okay.
it started hacking the computers. Right.
sure,
So,
sure.
so it's
Sure.
hacking the Magi, which are these 3 supercomputers made by. So Ritsuko is the scientist who made the Avas.
Yeah,
This supercomputer Trinity was made by her mom.
Okay.
the three
The
magi.
the 3 Magi. Yes.
Uh-huh.
They are
Do
biological
you like
computers
that,
as well.
CJ?
I mean, I do. I mean, it's
It's good stuff.
It follows in the biblical thing. The 3
I was gonna
magi
say, is
are
this
it's
three
the 3
wise men?
wise men. Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it is a
in the-
biblical
in-
reference. All right.
In some translations, they're called magi. They tend to not use that anymore because it sounds magical. But again, in the old timey past days, a magi was a person who was very learned, like a wise man, to the point of maybe they do know magic, but again, the magic is just science you don't
Just
understand.
science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
since they're men, we won't burn them at a stake. Got it.
Right. Well, they're
Yeah.
kings as well.
Yeah.
So who's
Yeah.
gonna? Because they're so smart and ethnic as well, because they came from the east. So they're
So it's fine.
so it's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, she made these. Basically, the whole idea is that it's like the 3 parts of her like psyche. It's like one of her as a mother, one of her as a woman, one of her as a scientist.
Oh shit!
they,
That's
like-
that's also like that's like Wiccan shit too. That's
Right.
that's the mother, the maid, and the crone.
Right. So like they're like mostly the same, but
We'll
slightly
teach you
different.
about cool stuff, like cool things, one of these days, Fran.
Okay.
But I've been getting into
So
Wiccan
just the
shit lately.
Bible 25
No, it's
50
no.
times?
This is older. No, if anything, the Bible stole this shit from like druids,
True.
Yeah,
but they made it a
so-
man,
So it was better.
so it was better. People like that more.
So the angel is hacking them. It hacked 2 of them real fast. It's like crazy fast, and the Ritsuko's like trying to anti-hack it, and she can't do it. She's like, it's too fast. So anyway,
Smashing
she like
the keyboard.
she like turns its clock rate down crazy low, so it's like, all right, this buys us like 6 hours or something.
Sure.
And then she, goes inside the big, or like, she like opens up the like supercomputer like, cases or whatever, and it's like a bunch of tubes and pipes and stuff.
It's like a RTX 4020, and she's like,
yep.
Yeah,
Ah, I
and then
gotta
but inside the middle is like a human brain made out of metal, basically.
oh,
So she like puts probes in it and then starts hacking.
Oh.
So like the whole episode's like basically learning about her and her past and like her mom and like her, that kind of a like character building stuff.
this is Masato.
No, this
No.
is
This is the
Ritsuko, who is
Oh.
computer
Masato's
lady.
friend. She's the computer lady
She's-
blonde girl with a mole on her face.
She's the super scientist who can do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And they maybe kiss a little bit too sometimes with Masato.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
So yeah, the kids do nothing in this whole time, and then Ritsuko like anti-hacks it, and then she
Sure.
like convinces the angel to stop hacking it, and like she hacks it back and then kills it or whatever.
Okay.
Sure.
She hacks so good.
Yeah.
That's cool, I guess. So this episode existed to show us that there are supercomputers that are basically human brains, kinda.
Mhm.
So we are to understand that all of this technology shit is actually some kind of
organic.
technobiology,
Yeah.
organic stuff. Nothing is a really pure robot. You cannot build something as powerful as a thing that can be grown naturally.
Pretty much.
Nice. That's cool.
Oh, natural.
Okay. Next episode is basically like things are going a little bit too good for Shinji. He's getting a little bit cocky,
Mm.
kind of,
It's fucking
Feeling
that-
any positive
yeah,
feelings.
feeling a bit too good.
knock that punk down a peg or two.
Right. So, that's, build up is basically that. He's getting a little cocky, and then she's just like, whatever. He's just growing up something. He's just a kid. Angel attacks. Laliel.
Lalael.
Lalael, sure. It is a big sphere, giant sphere.
Hell yes.
floating.
Very
love
good.
a good sphere.
I love an angelic
Love
sphere.
a good sphere.
So Shinji's like, I'll take it out, no problem.
It's just a fucking ball, dude.
Just a
Whatever.
big sphere. It's fine. They
Ball is
they
life.
like try to shoot it to see what it's like, and it just like goes straight through it. There's like, this is kind of crazy, but when Shinji's like, I'll figure it out. It's fine. I'm
Ghost
good about it.
sphere.
Yeah. So he goes to fight it. The sphere angel makes a shadow on the ground, and in the shadow, everything like gets sucked in. It's like quicksand, and then they're just like, I don't know what's going on. Shinji, get out of there. And Misato's like, Shinji, get out of there, and she's just like, No, I'll deal with
Nah,
it.
it's fine.
And then he gets sucked into the quicksand, and then
Jeez.
and then they're just like, hold on, we got to figure out what's going on. Halt the mission. We'll deal with this later.
We lost our boy.
We lost our boy, but we got to do some. We got to figure it out before the other two girls.
We've
try to
only
save it.
got 6 hours now.
Pretty much.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Well, actually, they have like 15. Because the angel's not really doing attacking much.
Yeah,
But
it's just
they're
making
like-
a hole in the
just-
ground.
It's
Yeah,
just
they don't-
causing
they
some
don't care-
inconveniences.
All
They
you
don't
had
care
to
about
do
those
was
buildings.
not go in the hole, Shinji. We had time this time.
Yeah. So the time limit this time is that like, all right, the reserve power in the Ava is only like 15 hours if it like is in super low power mode. So we got to figure it out back then.
Very different from its previous 5-minute battery life, but whatever.
Yeah, it's like not Mooner. It's purely life support for the pilot.
Sure.
And they're like, longer than this, he's gonna die. The like filtration's gonna break down. He's gonna
Yeah,
die.
whatever.
Um,
He's in the Shadow Realm now or whatever.
yeah. So he literally is. He's in the Dirac C, which is like a real math thing. I don't know if CJ you know about
The
it.
Dirac formula, yeah.
Yeah, he's in the Dirac C, which is basically like antimatter, pretty much.
Sure.
So he's in like this antimatter realm of like
So he would
imaginary
explode instantly as all of his particles were annihilated with the antimatter.
No,
But
he's
what
in the
if he
void.
was in a magical Christ being?
Okay, I
Yeah,
could
the
see that, maybe.
Avas are indestructible.
The Avas are indestructible.
Sure, they're made of
Pretty
some
much.
sort of neutral matter.
Some sort of meat person. So he's in there and he's just like can't see shit. It's like pure white. He's just like,
Oh,
I'm just
God,
gonna
I
wait
think I died.
for them to try to save me, I guess. And they were just like, we gotta figure out how to save him.
He was such
They like have
big
this
dick in
shit
it
plan,
before.
which is basically like, all right, we'll shoot the shadow because they're like, okay,
Nuke the
really
shadow.
sphere. Really, the sphere is just the shadow, and the shadow is the real thing, and it's like negative or whatever.
Mm.
So like we're gonna shoot the shadow and then try to
Nice.
grab him out or something.
Smart.
So they're like preparing to do that, and this whole while we're like watching Shinji and his robot, and he's just like
Bored.
talking to himself. He's like, thinking about his life and like how he doesn't want to. He like finally he's just like, I don't want to die, actually, for real this time. And then, basically the Ava wakes up again, and like, and it's kind of started to be alluded to. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit more at the end, but basically, inside the Ava is his. I think actually maybe at this point we do know. Inside the Ava is his mother's soul.
Right. I didn't
Right.
want to jump the gun on that one, but my understanding is that the Ava is his mom, right? Actually.
It's his mother's. It's the soul of his mother inside the body of not well. The Avas are made in the image of Adam.
Right.
Uh-huh.
This particular one is made out of a different life seed creature.
Are
we don't
all
know
the
about
life
yet.
seeds big
They're like
creatures? Big
yeah.
humanoids?
They're gods. They're like the god.
The ancient gods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like how's okay, so like fucking
his is made out of the
Zeus-
first
Zeus cut off
one.
his dick
His-
or whatever
his is
and
made
threw
out
it
of
into the
the
water
second
and
one,
now horses
actually.
exist or some shit like that.
So Adam
Yeah,
was the
so
first one.
Adam was the first one. His is made out of the second one. We'll talk about him at the end a bit more. But,
Okay.
All right.
so his mom wakes up. He's just like, I gotta save my boy, and then she goes
Okay. Yeah.
crazy, breaks out. Like they're right about to like all the other guys are like trying to break him out, and like he just tears open, and he's just like
He's like, "Hey
covered
guys."
in blood.
Good job, Mom.
And then
Oh, he got
yeah, and they're ju-
birthed.
yeah, and then everyone's like, wow, that's crazy. He did that.
That's insane.
They're like, he should not have the juice for this left. The Abe was alive.
Which again, we did know because A,
Well,
we built
only
it,
like
and
two
B,
people knew. Like
Only
everyone
two
else
people
got a
actually
human
know.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really tell them. They
Oh,
keep it all in secret.
the more I hear about this though, the more I'm like, Attack on
Kinda
Titan
cool.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's like just like a lot of this. They have the thing where they like break open the wall and then there's like Titans in the wall and then it's like, oh, it's kind of the same moment as the is the thing with the come out of the lava, and it's like a human hand. It's like
Yeah.
have an original idea, guy who made fucking Attack on Titans. Can't even come up with original racism. Has to just do the old shit.
Just the old racism. The
I
good
know.
old racism.
Since
Oh, well, all right. Well.
So if Shinji's robot is his mom,
his
Uh-huh.
mom's soul
Shinji's-
in,
Mom's
of,
soul.
in-
His
his
mom's
mom's
soul.
soul in some sort of genetic
J-
clone
yeah.
of an ancient god that they found
Yeah.
in Antarctica.
So did
Mhm.
Shinji's dad fuck the ancient being or something, and then made
No.
Shinji or some
His
shit?
mom was a human. His mom was
Okay.
a regular
Alright.
human. And
Alright.
actually, maybe even now. we
I
can
mean,
talk
that doesn't
about
mean
it.
he didn't
Let's
fuck.
talk about
ancient
Shinji's
being.
mom, okay?
Yeah, we could
Technically.
talk a little about Shinji's mom.
Please do.
So basically, Shinji's mom and dad worked for Nerve's
Nerve.
predecessor at the time. It was called I don't remember. It's called something with a G.
Gene, probably.
Gerv.
No, but close.
Gaia,
So
maybe. I don't know.
she volunteered to have her soul cloned, she thought, into the Ava because they knew it needed a soul to work good. Or at least they thought. I don't know. 'cause
Boss,
Ava,
we've run the numbers, and it's just not adding up unless add
Yeah.
one human soul.
yeah. So they
that will
thought they were
balance
gonna.
the map.
that will balance the equation.
Yeah. So they thought they were gonna. She thought they all thought she was gonna clone her soul,
Mhm.
but
But you can't
it-
clone a soul.
well, yeah. So anyway, her whole soul gets sucked into the robot, and
Alchemy.
Shinji's there watched it happen. That's maybe why he's so traumatized and such a pussy. I don't know.
Does he not remember it?
Oh.
Does he have PTSD?
He doesn't remember it.
Okay.
Well, he was probably really little. when
He
it
was
happened.
4 or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mom's soul
Why
in the
was he
robot.
there? He's like,
Well,
Shinji,
you
you,
might-
need to
would
see
you-
this.
Yeah, she
Bring your kid to
she
work
was
day.
like she was like you this is a great day in humanity you should see, so you have
Your mommy's gonna become a clone robot, but also I'll be fine.
I'll be
Yeah.
fine, probably.
Did her
so
husband
anyway-
know that this was going to
yeah,
happen?
because her husband was in charge. Yeah.
Okay, so he knew that it was going to kill his wife.
No.
Oh.
He didn't know it was gonna kill
No,
her.
no, they all
Okay.
thought that it would just
They all
clone.
thought it would just work.
Okay,
No
so
one was
everyone
deceiving
legitimately
her.
thought.
They just
okay.
were
This
wrong.
Great.
this is very advanced science.
Got it.
Right.
Um,
yeah.
so
Anyway, we're gonna have to sacrifice a goat. So
yeah, so her soul sucked into the robot.
Okay.
Her body limp, laying there.
okay.
Mhm.
You might wonder, that's a waste.
I
And
did.
Shinji's dad thought the same thing. So Shinji's dad took Shinji's mom's body
Uh huh.
and all the meat science they were doing.
Yeah.
Basically cloned it, cloned
Uh-huh.
her body
With the meat
And
science
then-
that they
with the meat science,
right.
and that
Uh-huh.
is Rey,
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
the first child.
Yeah, of course.
That Rey is the body of Shinji's
The body
mom.
and
But not the
and the
actual
soul-
Ava's
body.
this. Well, the,
Well, not the actual body, but
A
but
clone.
biolog-
The clone.
biologically,
A
yeah.
clone
Yeah.
of it.
Does
Yeah.
she have a soul?
she does. And the soul.
Where'd it come from?
Well, we don't know this yet, but I'll just spoil it. The soul is of a god, a different one.
Okay.
Neat.
The first one? The second one? The
Mm.
second one.
Rey's
is the second
soul?
one. Rey's soul
Is
the-
of a different.
it-
is of a god.
the name is Lilith, which is another Judeo-Christian
Yes.
entity.
Yeah. Okay. And so if I can guess.
Yep.
In alchemy, you have the body, which is the materia, and you have the soul, which is the ethereal, but you also have the mind, which is the
No, the soul and the
intermediate.
mind are the same.
Are they the
basically.
same? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not just like soul energy
No,
running
it's
this robot. It's literally Shinji's mom's
consciousness.
consciousness in the robot.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So
But
is
they're not I mean, it's a little fuzzy.
But
Rey
yeah, she
doesn't
can't, like-
remember,
Yeah.
but it should. Yeah, it's.
well,
I
she
have-
wouldn't. She's a clone.
Yeah.
Well, but she's the soul of but she doesn't remember being like Lilith.
A god.
at
Okay,
the
yeah,
time.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have
And-
two
yeah.
questions about this. So is Lilith of the same
Only two?
category of Adam then? Like in
Yes.
types of in terms
So
of the
she's also
being?
a seed of
She's a seed of
creation?
life. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
and that is what Eva 01 is made of.
So
Part of
how did
that.
they get
Okay.
the soul
What-
out of it into Ray's body, or is it just like a part of it? a part of the soul. or something.
I don't. I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
Okay.
They did it.
Did
with
they do it
science.
on
Did it.
purpose,
But
or
did
did
they
it
take
just
the
Yeah, they did it
whole
on purpose. They
soul
did it
or
on
just
purpose.
part of
Okay.
it?
Okay.
I think it's the whole soul.
So
So they just
they
legitimately
they
took
put
the soul of a god being and
Yeah.
put it into a
no. Okay, this
human
makes
flesh
sense.
thing?
Uh-huh.
They took a human soul and they put it inside of a god being body
Yeah.
Okay.
that they made,
Oh, okay.
and then
Yes.
Shinji's dad was like, "What if we do it the other way?" And then
Right.
they
And
just
then
did that.
you make the Ava robot out of the Lilith material.
Body.
I
Well,
assume
just
is
the
what happened.
one. I don't actually know
Yeah.
why. Like, just Eva 1 is special in that it's Lilith's body. All the other Evas are Adam's body.
Okay.
And
But
so
I don't really
the-
know how it
it's-
all shakes out.
The
but it
01
does.
is the one Shinji can drive.
Yes, and
Uh-huh.
that one's from Adam's
because it's
body.
his mom. Yeah.
Because
No,
that's
that
his
one's from
mom's
Lilith's body.
soul in Lilith's
Oh.
body. And Lilith's soul is inside his mom's clone's body,
Yes.
who is a
A good
girl
switcheroo.
who's a girl who hates him and
Okay.
She doesn't really hate him. She just doesn't care about him.
strangely lusts after his dad because they were
Married.
in a previous
some point.
existence.
But she also
Uh-huh.
kind of likes Shinji sometimes.
because
Right, I mean-
that's her son, kinda.
And yeah. And
Right.
Okay.
And, this,
You-
you
And
know,
he
and
wants
then, like,
to and he wants to fuck his mom because he just is an Oedipal complex.
yes.
Okay.
Great.
Yep.
Other question. So 01.
See, it wasn't 2. You can
01 is the
Nope.
purple
Yeah. So
one.
01
Shinji's
was
robot.
the first one they made, and it's
No.
Lilith's spot. No.
No.
0. It's the
00 was the
prototype.
first one they made. Prototype
Okay. From Lilith.
made of Adam's body.
No, from
No,
Adam.
Adam's
Whose
body.
soul is in that one?
Yeah.
Nobody's.
Okay.
And that's
why
fine
it's not as strong.
because it's piloted by Ray, who
Who
has
has
the soul of a
Lilith's
god.
god.
soul in
Okay.
it. So only
Then what's
Ray can
Asuka's
pilot
situation?
00
Yeah.
because
So
they
what's the
need a
02?
god soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
02 is just
zero-
German engineering.
No,
It's the best of the
02
both.
is Asuka's mom, and that's why she pilots it.
They did this shit in Germany too.
You think the Japanese are out there doing something and the Germans are going to be like, oh no, we don't want to do anything like that. That's a little fucked up, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
They were
just surprised
Probably
they
got
made
the
two
idea
facilities
from the
for it.
Germans, and the Germans like, no, you can't do it. So you'd have to like put human soul in there. We don't even know how to
So
do
we'll
that.
talk about Asuka's backstory and her mom in like pretty much 2 episodes.
Okay,
So let's
2
back up a
episodes
little
of
bit.
this podcast.
Yeah. So anyway,
Okay, we're learning a lot.
Shinji just broke out of
That's gracious.
the Negaverse with his robot
Right.
and his mom.
Yep.
Yep.
With his mom. His mom really is the one who broke out.
Yeah, but it's
They work
Yeah.
together.
they
She-
do work
She,
together.
she wouldn't
They
have done it
resonate.
without him.
She wanted to save them. Anyway, next episode. Nerve stuff happening. There are other Avas, obviously, and they're like working on being developed. And then so this like plot development was that there's the new child is found, and a lot of
How many mother's souls
not
are they
everyone knows-
sacrificing for these robots?
well, actually, those two are the
As
only ones
many
with
as we
souls in
need.
them. So I don't really know.
the-
Okay.
They like figured
So-
it out the
okay.
math, so they don't need souls
All right.
anymore.
So they don't have to
Are
use
there
souls
more
anymore.
than
That's
the
old
3
technology.
robots total?
There are, yes.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why there's another child.
Yeah,
All right,
there's
where'd this
another
child come from? Do they have parent issues
Well, we
too?
don't know quite yet who it is, the
Right.
child. But we know there is one. We know there's a new Ava, and Misato and Ritsuko are going to get the Ava, and suspiciously, Shinji's friend is missing from school for a little while. The kid that beat him up.
Okay.
Oh.
But they're friends now.
I don't-
But so they're like, that's kind of weird. Maybe he's the mech, and they're like, that'd be crazy. Or the pilot, and turns out he is the pilot.
Oh,
Oh,
my
shit.
Oh
god.
my god.
my
He
God.
loved mechs though, so he's gonna be
Wait.
way
Oh,
better.
the other guy loved mechs. This
Oh.
guy doesn't
Oh.
care about mechs.
Sure.
Yeah,
I thought
so
they might have put
anyway,
his sister's soul in because she got injured, but you said there was no soul in
that's
it, so
crazy.
it's fine.
That's crazy. Frank.
Yes, Fran. Only mothers' souls can be put into Avas to protect their
Only
babies.
twice.
And again, pointing out that the robots are literally connected via an umbilical cord to the
Yeah.
main
No.
station.
Oh, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah,
usually.
I mean,
So the
I can't-
robots,
okay,
the
well, talk
robots
about-
are the babies, but also they are the mothers of babies,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
the universe itself is a womb of life for something.
Yeah, don't they call the like little pods that the Shinji goes into his mom with the womb or something like that?
No,
Yeah.
it's just called the. It's
no,
called
it's
something pod.
it's just,
It's just called the
warm.
pod.
He is no. I do remember though that the pods are filled with embryonic fluid.
They're filled with LCL fluid,
Right.
which we
Which
will
is-
learn soon is the blood of Lilith.
Oh,
Neat.
Great.
okay.
So anyway,
Anyway,
this, the new pilot is bringing the Ava to Nerve, so we have more mechs to fight the angels. Unfortunately, the Ava is an angel itself. It's been corrupted.
it was a trick.
It's kind of a trick.
Decepticon.
Bardiel, the angel, is inside of the Ava.
Okay.
Is it because
and-
they got hacked by that other angel at one point?
Not
Or
the
like
same one.
Semi-related
It's a different one.
situation?
Yeah,
but it's like a
similar.
similar.
Thing. Yeah, it's corrupted. Yeah.
It got corrupted because of a different angel that
So
infiltrated.
the Avas can be corrupted into angels.
Pretty much because they're the same flesh. They're Adam's flesh. Angels are the descendants of Adam.
Oh.
And the Avas are a manufactured
they're-
descendant
and
of
they're-
Adam.
Yeah, and the whole thing is that we'll learn soon, but basically Adam's descendants were supposed to be the inhabitants of Earth. And the humans who are, we'll learn soon, spoilers, are the descendants of Lilith, who is the god. They're like the seed of life with the fruit of knowledge. And the Adams have the fruit of life.
forbidden fruit.
Forbidden fruit of knowledge.
Oh, and they became too smart. Monkey became too smart. Started not worshiping God. Started making their own god.
The god isn't
worshiping
really
mom.
The false idol, the golden calf, Fran. Don't you
Sure.
see?
Yeah, there's no god at play here, other than that they made all these beings. Like, there's no
So that's your god.
saying you
Right.
need to worship me. This
This
is
is
why
a
it's happening.
hands-off kind of god in this. Place.
Really? Yeah.
Right. He made everyone, and now he's in a
I
crystal.
did some stuff. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah.
God helps those who help themselves, Fran.
So anyway, this Ava is going berserk, gonna
Hmm.
go ape and attack.
In the facility?
It's not there yet. It's on its way, but it's like
Okay.
on its way imminently.
On its like
So-
cargo ship or whatever.
Yeah. So
Okay.
first, Ray and her Ava 01 tries to stop him. Easily gets owned by the new angel because she just wasn't ready, basically.
Mm.
Asuka is a little bit shattered. She's a little bit not doing too good mentally. Just she's just upset that Shinji's just
Yeah,
doing this crazy stuff better than her, basically.
Right. She keeps getting shown
not too
up by a
happy.
cringe fail idiot.
So
Yeah, I mean, there's also
happens
there's
again, unfortunately.
there's weird background abusive kind of stuff going on with her and that spy guy as well.
Well, she wants to fuck the spy guy. The spy guy isn't really into it. He's not doing too bad stuff there.
Yeah, well, he's a grown man.
Right.
He
But
likes.
Setting
he's
healthy
not
boundaries.
really, and he's
He-
not grooming or anything.
Yeah, I know. He likes
Asante.
Misanta, like full body
Actual adults.
adult women.
Yeah, he's kind of normal actually.
Yeah.
The most normal out of all of these, it sounds like.
He's not. He doesn't want to fuck the kid. Great.
Most
we love him.
sane Evangelion character, pretty much.
We've passed the very
Um,
low bar that was set.
Yeah. So anyway, Shinji's the last hope, right? Obviously, yet
Obviously,
again.
yeah.
The Ava's coming, the bad one, and then his dad, Shinji's dad just you gotta stop him. And he's like, I can't, there's a person in there. I'm not gonna kill this human. And then
Now, why did they put the kid in it already?
They got
because they didn't know. They didn't know. He went ape as soon as the kid went in, basically.
Oh, weird.
Um,
Okay.
So he's just like, I won't do it. And then dad's like, fine, whatever. We'll let the AI pilot do it. Because they have
no.
those.
Oh,
They've been
no.
kind of teasing those, but they have the AI pilots. It's
Yeah,
basically
that's not gonna work though. I
It's
think
well, it's a clone of Ray's it's a clone of Ray's mind.
mind.
kinda.
Okay, so there's the mind one. That's what I was
Yeah,
talking
it's
about.
Not, but it's not like sentient. It's just like
It
I'm
does
gonna do the
no. A
things.
mind isn't sentient. A mind is the
Sure.
thoughts. The
Yeah,
soul
I mean,
is the
it's kind of
sentience.
like the Magi is kind of like that. too.
I knew
Yeah.
it. I knew it was
Okay.
somewhere. In
It's
there.
really not talked about too much, but sure. So anyway, it's called the dummy plug,
Okay.
and he's just like,
I think
fine,
I've seen this
Shinji,
fight
we'll let
before.
it happen.
It's rude.
And then he tells it to happen, and it does, and Shinji's just forced to watch,
And
the
he's just
AI beat the
traumatized, screaming.
shit out of this
Yeah.
body. This
using
Eva.
his Eva.
Using his Ava, and he's just watching, and he can't do anything.
Okay.
He still doesn't know who's in it, mind you.
That's
um,
my mom.
Yeah. So
My
he like
mom.
watches the AI just like smash the whole body and like get the little
Yeah.
plug with the humans in. He just like crushes it in its hands. He's just like shaken by it.
Fuck.
And then he's like already traumatized. And then Misato calls him and he's just like, "I'm so sorry, Shinji. I should have told you who it was." And then as soon as she says that, he sees the like them pull the body out of the little capsule and it's his friend. And he's just like, mind fucked.
I'm pretty sure that corpse would be goo if a
It should
big robot crushed it with its
It's all right.
monster
The-
hand.
Yeah, it like
The
missed. I guess. I
embryonic
don't know.
fluid protected it.
It just like missed barely. It's barely lived. So he's just like really pissed. Shinji is, and he's just like, you know what? I'm in this Ava. I'm gonna fuck you guys. I'm just gonna ruin everything.
Oh,
And
so
then-
he's in the robot the whole time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like
Oh.
watching.
Or, like
He's
He
being
just,
forced.
he just went hands off and he's like, fine, let the computer do it. And then he watched.
well, he
as his-
couldn't. He couldn't
He
stop.
couldn't
He was
stop
like
it.
overridden. But
Okay,
yeah.
I see.
So he was like really traumatized. He was like forced to kill his friend. Basically, he thinks. And he's just like,
Sure.
I'm gonna kill all of you. I'm in this Ava. And then they just like his dad just like, I can't handle this, and he just like presses a button and like
Turns it
knocks
off.
him out instantly.
Sure.
Yeah. And then he
We
basically
have-
is fired.
We have the sleep button that we
Yeah,
can
so
use
he's
whenever.
so they pretty much fire him because they're like, if you're gonna threaten, to
Yeah. It's
kill us
fucked up.
all,
That's
you can't
like
be doing that.
that's like if you are going hunting or whatever and you have a gun, you're like, haha, I could shoot all you guys right now. It's like, all right, no, you can't do this
You
anymore.
can't come anymore. Yeah.
There's no way.
And Shinji's fine with it because he's like, I don't want to fucking pilot these things again. I hate you guys. I'm
Right.
out.
Sure.
So he quits.
So,
Second time.
Question.
What does he think's gonna happen if he doesn't stop
the robots?
the angels? Yeah, like if the angels
He
are
doesn't
just-
care. He's just like, I want to die. I whatever.
Okay,
don't care.
cool. All right, I can dig it.
He doesn't really see past himself for that. But question. So did the AI really have to like go that ham
No.
on? Okay. Like how
But-
do you
but
actually
it
turn?
It can't control. It's not sentient. It can't think. It just like
Yeah,
it
exactly,
just
but, like,
it just
how-
exists to achieve the mission or whatever.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
mechanically, like, how would you, in theory, just have like tried to disconnect the Ava from like a power source or like from doing stuff if the angel was corrupting it or whatever? Like, is it a thing where you could have just taken the child out? Or, like,
it did
pop out the
disconnect it from
womb?
it did disconnect from the power source, but the angels basically have their own power source.
Nice.
Okay.
The seed of life contains like infinite power, basically.
Of course.
Okay.
it's called the S2
Classic.
drive in like the science terms, but the solenoid something.
But they
basically
don't
it's
but they
infinite
don't know
power.
how the fuck it works, and it makes infinite power.
Infinite energy, yeah.
Great.
So that's why they can't
probably
stop.
why they're fucking around with it. I imagine
Right.
So,
because
So
infinite energy.
so was the way it was beaten just like it was dismembered, basically?
yeah, he
Or,
just
like-
beat the shit out of it. Yeah, he tore it
Okay,
apart.
and that just stops. Okay.
Yeah, it dies. I mean, it's alive, so it dies.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a lot of money
so-
that was wasted, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot of it though.
I don't think
Um,
money was really.
They're
an
not too worried
object
about it. There's
anymore.
literally angels of God trying to. destroy
Yeah, the
humanity.
economy adjusted to be sort of Ava focused. I can't imagine that like freelance artist is a job anymore.
Well, no, but people don't know about the Avas and the angels and stuff like that.
No, but like the Illuminati's guiding everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we don't know about the giant robots that our government is building with all of the military money, but
do you think
the military money goes there.
Do you think maybe that there are like a war versus aliens going on right now, and that's why they're like destroying all the like social services and like the video game industry is dying because they're like, we just don't have the resources to divert to this anymore. We're literally just having you guys work in like circuit board factories, not knowing what you're doing, but actually we're using those circuit boards and giant robots.
God,
hope so.
wouldn't that feel really good? Just like,
Not
hey
really.
guys, I know
Because then I'd
you
want to
thought,
be the robot pilot. I don't want to be some circuit board guy.
yeah, no, but I'm just talking about like on a societal level. You're like, guys, I know you
we
thought
had your
that
best
it
interests
was
at heart all this whole
it
time.
was all collapsing from our own hubris, but actually there were evil aliens we were fighting the whole time.
We were trying to disallow abortion because we use human souls to power the machines. And actually,
that-
specifically, human
Children.
suffering needs to happen in order for our machines to work. So,
Listen,
I'm sorry.
I know it all seemed really stupid and evil, but it actually was not the stupid part. It all made sense in the background.
Nothing we were doing, we weren't being mindlessly cruel. We were being specifically cruel for a purpose.
Strategically.
The greater good.
All right, I'm on board.
Okay, so Shinji quits.
Yep.
Because
Flash was
he doesn't
fired.
want to deal with it either. Yeah.
He's, you can't fire me. I quit. It's like, okay, well, you threatened the world, but whatever.
Right. So he's like, character development. He's quitting. He's just like, I don't care anymore at all. And while he's leaving, another angel attacks. Zeruiel.
Sure.
But he's still just like, I am done for real this time. I don't care.
For sure.
Nothing
for
you
real.
can do will change my mind.
Yeah. So he's still quitting. They try to kill him with the other two pilots again, and they both fail. Eva 00, Ray's Eva is like, her arm is still cut off from the last battle. They haven't fixed it yet. And Asuka's Ava, she just like tries to kill him first and just gets like instantly owned because she's still like mentally suffering and she can't pilot good.
Great.
This
super
angel,
genius. Totally
this angel is kind of like a humanoid shape. Its arms are like razor blade, like bellows. He just like shoots them out and like cuts stuff.
Cool.
He's just like cool little like accordion arms.
The scythe
Fun.
man.
Yeah. So he just owns her insta, and then Ray tries to sacrifice herself to kill it because Shinji's not here. She takes a nuke in her one hand and she just like runs up to the Ava and tries to like put the nuke inside of him.
That's
and blow
not
it up
going to
and
do
sacrifice
anything
herself.
to either
Well,
of you.
Yeah, well, it messes her up pretty good actually.
Sure.
And it does nothing to the angel. So it's like, oh god, this is all fucked. And then while Shinji's leaving, he sees Kaji, who's that like spy guy, Masato's boyfriend dude. He's just like, he's in his little garden. He's just like, he tends to flowers, and it's just like this weird thing he does that like no one would expect because he's like this ladies' man guy.
Okay.
So anyway, he's there, and then Shinji's just like, "What are you doing here?"
Oh,
He's just
that's
like,
sweet.
"I'm here because this is where I want to be when we die, and we're all gonna die because you're not there.
Because
and there's no one to stop
because
me."
you're a little bastard. and-
Yeah.
Well, he's actually
not
like, "I
helping.
don't blame you. Like, it's up to you. Do whatever you want." And then Shinji's just like, "You know what? I do want to kill them. I do want to be in the robot." So he runs back, gets in the robot. Last second, like while this angel is like literally breaking into the Nerve headquarters, he just like also breaks in and like punches its face, and it's just like really
Nice.
cool battle.
Yeah.
And he's just like really owning it because he's into it now.
I like the
But-
I'm a big fan. Ethan probably knows this, but I really like the anime thing when that like to show overwhelming power when one person just like grabs the face of another person
Yeah,
and
it
just
does
like
that.
pushes them into the dirt or whatever.
Yeah,
And
that
it's-
exact thing happens. It's really cool.
And it's like, all right, cool. Like that's how
Yeah.
you know it's like, oh shit, this is just gonna be over now.
Yeah, so he's just beating the shit out of everyone's just like, oh, thank God he's over here and he saved us. Oopsies, last second runs out of battery because he wasn't plugged in.
He wasn't.
Ah.
planning
And then
that.
he's up, and then the angel's just like gets back up, and he's just like pounding on his like life
Yep.
core in the middle with his little razor blade arms.
right.
Yep.
And then everyone, and then she's just like, this was all for nothing. Oh my God, I'm gonna die.
I
And
was like, if
then,
only mom would help me.
yep, Ava wakes up again, and goes crazy.
Yep.
What do you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the maternal
But
instinct.
but
to
the
protect
most
your baby.
crazy yet this time.
Oh.
Even crazier.
Oh.
because
just-
the Shinji's finally standing up for
About
himself.
and he's about to like actually die for real. Yeah.
Wasn't he
Um,
before too?
Yeah.
But less.
Okay.
But less. So Ava just goes ape, like rips it apart, literally eats it, like a ape monkey, like
That's
he's
odd,
shoving
like
it into,
Grabs the face and genitals and shoves it in his
Yeah.
mouth.
and it's like
That's how
part of
monkeys
the armor.
attack, friend.
The armor's like all torn off, so you see it's like monkey humanoid like, and it's like everyone's like throwing up because they're like, this is
The Ava or the angel?
the Ava.
Oh, gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened, and they're just like,
Scary.
what is this Ava? This is like
That
crazy.
just happened.
And then the like second in command guy, who is like a big scientist, and that's why he's second in command, and he was like the head researcher on this like S2 drive project with like infinite energy thing.
Right.
And then he's just like, he's eating this flesh because it gives the Ava the same energy, infinite energy source. It no longer ever has to be plugged in. It's a god now.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
So the S2
It has-
drive was in the Angel,
It's
or
not like an actual engine. It's like
it's an
Like
entity.
it's like an
that-
organ, kind of a biological trait. Yeah,
that's
Okay.
in each of the angels.
the angels.
Oh,
Yeah.
That
so
powers them.
they like ate its liver. It's like ate its heart and it gained its power.
Yeah. So now
Yeah.
it has infinite
Wow.
energy inside it, like an angel does.
Cool.
Sure.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "All right, this is crazy. Fine."
Whatever.
Cool.
And-
Fucking all the research of my life just down the fucking drain. Turns out you just eat it and it's
Well, no, he knew. He's just like this. Well, he didn't know that this exactly would happen, but he realized immediately. You know, what was going on.
okay.
Ava stops. Or like finally, all settles down. Shinji's not inside the robot anymore. No one's in the robot.
Oh my god, where's Shinji?
That's crazy. Shinji is fused with the robot,
Ugh, gross.
with the Ava. It has become one.
This is like Saturn devouring his son, by the way.
Yeah.
So we're back in the realm of antiquity.
So Shinji is, in this like they science it away, saying he's like in this ego space or whatever the fuck. But
right,
he's
his mind.
with the robot,
sphere.
basically.
Yeah.
Is his mommy vored him? You could just say that.
Yeah, his mommy
Oh,
vored him.
goodness.
And he's like struggling, he can't get out. He's like, I'm pushing against it, it's not working.
Well,
Ethan, can you,
he's like-
Ethan,
yeah.
for the
He likes
for the thumbnail for this one, can you do Saturn devouring his son, but have it be a Eva devouring like Shinji or something? Is that too much to ask?
I think the difficult part will be that there will just be too many other fan images of that, and we will get accused
Yeah, I'm sure you
of.
can Google it.
I wonder how much money I'd have to pay Lizard for her to draw that for us.
Ugh.
Okay, so he's in that Ava for 30 straight days. They're trying to get him out. They can't figure out how. There's like a whole episode of like trying to figure it out, and he like part of it is him talking to himself and his mother, like inside this like mental
Mhm.
space or whatever.
Yeah.
In the end, he basically just gets spit out because he decides he's ready to get spit out. Pretty much, like right when they're like gave up trying to get him out, the like robot opens and all the goo pours out, and they're just like, no, his atoms are in that goo, we can't lose it, and then he just like gets spit out on the floor, fully formed.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
rebirthed.
reborn.
Great.
Yeah, he's reborn.
Literally. That's great.
And,
I love
and
that.
everyone is like kind of shook, but they're glad. and
Cool.
It's
Guess
just it
it's
is a
better
thing.
than the alternative.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that.
Uh-huh.
Next episode, next angel. He's in the hospital. They don't want to use Ava 01 because it's crazy
Yeah,
now.
it's
It's a
like-
god.
yeah.
We don't want to mess with this thing really. Gendo's got plans for it, which we'll talk about super soon. There's been alluded to a couple times that there's this human instrumentality project, like instrumentality.
Mhm.
We don't really know what it is, but it has to do with that Ava, and it's special, and it has to do with Adam's body and Lilith and all this like god stuff that we don't really know much about yet. But he's
Yeah.
planning on it. And so he doesn't want to use the Ava because it's too special, can't risk it, all that
Mhm.
Sure.
stuff. There's this new angel, Ariel.
Oreo.
It's with an A, but yeah.
yeah, it's Oreo.
Sure.
It's not AU.
it is-
It's just
it-
IA.
Yeah, it looks like basically looks like kind of an angel silhouette. It's just
Yep.
like wings pretty
Yep.
much in space.
Yeah.
It's in space, and its attack is like it uses its AT field. It's like a psychic wave, and it like mind fucks people.
Cool.
Well,
Oh.
specifically Asuka. Asuka's out trying to like figure out how to kill it. Him, it's like sniper and shooting it, and he just like mind rays at it. It's like this heavenly light that comes down from the sky, and literally like Hallelujah, the song is playing in the anime. It's really cool.
That's
And
all right. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, so she's getting mind fucked, and basically a lot of the mind fuck is like her past, haunting her, and she's thinking about her mother who committed suicide in front of her, and who like talked about wanting her like to kill Asuka too, like suicide murder kind of a thing, and she's like really traumatized about it, obviously.
Yeah.
And long and short of it is, they put half of her mom's soul into her Ava, and it was the mother part. And so like the mother part was in the robot, the rest like of the soul, the broken soul, and the human was like not the mother, so it didn't really care about her, and she was like traumatized about it. And she was like the mother was also like a broken person, obviously, because half her soul was gone.
Yeah.
A bunch of like kind of crazy stuff.
Wait,
So
did
was
they
the
take
mom
did they
and-
take out half her soul and then she continued to exist and then was like
Yeah.
crazy and was like, Asuka, I'm gonna like murder you?
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, okay. So was she like part of this like organization?
Yeah, she
then?
was a scientist. She was a scientist
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
So
And she gave up only
that's
half
like what-
her soul, not
So
the
her
full
mom
soul.
didn't really try to kill her. It was just the part of her mom that wasn't any part of her mother
yeah.
and was like,
Just
I'm gonna
left
kill
there.
myself and you.
Yeah.
Got
Great.
it.
So she killed herself. The mother killed herself. We don't know this yet, but basically they put the rest of her soul also in the robot. So like both parts are in the robot now. But it's fragmented. It's all fucked up.
That seemed like maybe those parts you could go without.
Why,
That
yeah,
seems-
you had the robot.
Well, it
bomb.
was not. It might as well at this point, right?
Might
Like, what
yeah,
else do we
okay. Yeah, I could get
we
behind that.
we had
like,
the disk space and we were like,
listen, we've got another whole half a soul here. What are we gonna do with it?
Just
throw
leave
it
it
away.
there.
okay.
Okay, so that happened, and we learn about that. That's like pretty much most of the episode is learning about that. At the end, Gendo, instead of letting Ava deal with it, because it's like we can't let this thing get mind fucked and turned against us or whatever. It's a god now. So
Yeah.
they tell Ray, he's like, Ray, get the spear of Longinus.
The spear,
spear
of
of
What?
Longinus?
Longinus?
Yes.
Okay.
Like long,
It is-
like length. Or-
Kinda.
Yes,
It's a-
long spear.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
They get it from the basement. And they pull it out of this
Do you
Yes,
know,
crucified.
I knew it.
They
I
pull
knew
it out of this crucified body.
I knew it. I didn't know the exact name, but I looked it up. This
Okay.
is indeed the spear that pierced the Christ's side as he was on the cross.
Yes.
It's named
They
after
pull-
that.
They pull it
Okay.
out of that crucified body, who we learn
Uh-huh.
later is the body of Lilith.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So she pulls it out, and then this spear's whole purpose is to kill,
Mm-hmm.
to kill like the gods, like Adam or Lilith
Yes.
or whatever. But obviously, it kills the angels just as well.
Yeah.
So she uses it, throws it into space, instantly kills that angel, just like
Good
vaporizes
fucking
it.
aim right there.
But it's
Damn.
lost in space. So
Oh.
then,
They just don't
but
have
it
that
was an
spear anymore.
ulterior motive because Gendo's like, I need that thing out of here because it'll kill our god.
The
Oh.
spear of Longinus, Fran, is considered one of the most holy relics, and it probably doesn't exist. But
I feel like we've talked about this before. Isn't there like a shroud?
it's the spear of
Also-
destiny. It's called sometimes, but it is the spear that pierced the Christ's side as he was on the cross, and it's like the most
Why-
holy thing.
He's already on the
Because
cross,
Fran,
though.
I described this to you, Fran.
Yeah,
Basically,
yes, it
if
was described
there's
to me
if
before.
there's any part of a holy person on a thing, it becomes holy, and there
Yeah.
not any substance more holy than the literal blood of
Of
Christ.
Christ.
So
Okay.
the spear that made him bleed is the
Has his blood on it.
most holy artifact in
Yeah,
the whole
Chris-
world.
Christianity is
Fucking
just
wild.
like the wildest
Yeah.
belief system.
I
It's
do-
just the most wild, crazy, dumb shit.
And that's why the show is so good.
I have
Right.
a Christian lore question then. Why did someone
Sure.
stab him with a spear when he was already crucified on a cross?
Just
He's
there-
already up there.
'cause,
What are they doing?
Yeah, they were torturing him. That was the
Oh,
whole point.
just
He
for
was
funsies-
that.
funsies?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
well. It became.
I mean, they didn't think he was a Christ. They just thought he was a guy, and they just wanted him dead.
It
Just wanted to
became.
poke
It
him
became.
more?
Well,
yeah.
if you want to actually know, Fran, it's important because it became a stigmata. A stigmata is one of the wounds of Christ that happened while he was on the cross. He
I
has
thought
five.
that was the ones on his hands.
Correct. He has 5 stigmatas. There's one on each hand. There's
Uh-huh.
one for the feet. There's the
Uh-huh.
crown of thorns on his head, and then there's the stab on his side, which is the wound.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
you see a crucifix that is like colorized, if it has like paint on it, it will always have a stab wound in his left side because that's where he was stabbed by a Roman soldier while he was on the cross.
Okay.
And that's one of
So
the
yeah-
that's one of the stigmata. The stigmata are it's how Christ died, but it also represents like his final act of mercy on humanity. So they are the most like holy of like their placement has become
Im- Important.
Like yeah, because it's on the head, the hands, the feet, and the side. Those are like
I'm still confused how
important.
the feet would count as only one, but that's fine.
Well,
because there was only
was
one
one nail.
nail that went through both
Okay.
of his feet. So there's one
But
in each
technically,
hand.
there's 2 holes. But
There's 2 holes, but it's one wound because
The crown-
one object that pierced
Okay.
the
Right.
Christ.
Yeah.
Got it.
The crown of thorns does not count for each one of the
If
little
you
thorn holes.
I mean, so the spear is the one that they always talk about as the holiest. But if you had the stakes that pierced, like that's the kind of shit you used to kill like an elder vampire. If you had
Okay.
that kind of shit, would be like, this is the spike that killed
Dude,
Christ.
is that why
How did
stakes
we?
are a
How
thing
did we
for
not
vampires?
do Helsing?
That was on the list of stuff to do. But yeah, if you
We did Castlevania. It's close enough, maybe.
that's true. That's a lot of
That's-
vampire
it's
a lot of
close
vampire
enough.
lore there.
Okay.
Great.
So
Thanks
so
for
it's the God
the
Killer. It's the ultimate
Christian
weapon.
lore.
Right. It's the
now it's
god-killing
in space.
spear, which is, by the way, adapted from Gungnir, which is the Norse one, but whatever.
So that one's gone out of the picture.
Which is a bummer because we just learned about it.
Yeah, but it's no longer a threat.
It's kind of
to
been
their
alluded to
current-
earlier, but that's
It's.
pretty much
I mean,
what
it's a very we could use the sword moment for sure.
Mhm.
and he used it for his ulterior motives to get rid of it.
Mm.
So that's that, and then they actually it's been predestined how many angels there would be, so they know there's only 2 left,
Oh, nice.
and so they're just like, all
Convenient.
right,
more.
it's getting close.
And we're on we're on kind of a roll. Like we're getting it. It probably could have saved the spear for the last one.
No, he thought the Ava was more important. I
Okay.
think, and he was looking for any excuse to get rid of it, basically.
Because
So
he
he
doesn't
used
want to, because it's the only thing that could kill an
Can
Ava
can
that
can
they-
stop his
that they know
his
of.
wife.
Yeah.
He now also loved the mommy now that she's a god mommy.
Sure.
Well, he always did, and like kind of the reason why he wants to do this instrumentality thing is basically to reunite with the dead mother now. It's kind of like his interior, guiding force, whatever.
Sure. Because he knows that his dead wife's soul is in that robot.
Yeah, and so basically, long and short of it is instrumentality and the third impact. Both Seal and Gendo want this to happen, but I don't know what. Like they want it differently. They want
Sure.
it to happen differently. But
They wanted
basically,
to control the situation of it.
yeah, the instrumentality is all beings become one consciousness.
I don't want that to happen.
That doesn't
They
sound
do
like a good
because he
thing.
wants to be back with his wife, and that's the only way.
This is the same shit whenever Ethan and I would play Civilization Beyond Earth. And there's like 3 different ways you can win the game, and one is you like adapt humanity so that it becomes one with their new planet, and the other one is you adapt the planet so that it's like bioengineered for humanity. And then the third weirdest one is you become a technological society where everyone exists in a hive mind together as one AI consciousness. And like that's also a way you win.
Yeah, it's basically that.
I hate
CJ
that
was
one.
always mad when I did that until he became one, and then he was okay with it.
So Shinji's dad and the company and stuff want that to happen.
So
Yeah.
they initiated Third Impact on purpose to do
Well, they're
that.
trying to.
Yeah.
They're trying to.
Or they're
yeah.
trying to, but they have to
And they're
get through all these
following what are
angels
called
first.
they're following what are called the Dead Sea Scrolls, which were a real thing.
Those
in-
are a real thing, correct?
I know about those. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what
is that what they
I think
say?
at the time of this anime's writing, they like it wasn't known to the human public what the Dead Sea Scrolls had, so they used that as like
Sure.
a cool thing. Like
Right.
they contain ancient stuff like this.
To
ancient knowledge
becometh
is-
one with the Christ, thou must make a robot of vast size.
Right.
You're like, what's a robot? I don't
And
know,
so,
dude.
like, in
They'll
there,
know in the
the-
future.
The scrolls prophesied how many angels there would be. So there's
Right.
2 left.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway,
How many were
Next
there
thing-
total? 11?
in
18.
total there are 18.
Yeah.
But really, the first 2
11
are
and
Adam
7.
Lilith.
Yeah.
The first 2 are Adam and Lilith, who are not actually angels. So it's really 15, or really
17?
16.
16? We can all do math.
16.
18.
Well, yeah. Also, the last one, spoiler, is humanity.
It's called humanity, or
It's
it
what's
is
called
humanity?
It is humanity. It's called Lilin, which is the offspring of Lilith, which is humans.
Mm.
But
So that's
So we
humanity
actually only
as a-
have one left
All
that
right,
has to
we're
be
starting-
bad.
No, there's two. There's actually two left. There's two real angels left.
This is great for me because we're starting to get into the territory where I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is stupid now. I'm pretty sure it made sense for a bit up until now, but I think it might just be stupid now.
Yeah, it's gonna get crazy. Okay.
Okay.
Next one is
Oh goodness.
our Misael. It is. It's.
It's a missile.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, kind of, but it is embodied as just a floating giant halo.
Cool.
It's just
Sure.
glowing light, halo shape.
okay.
So the Ava 01's still grounded because it's a god.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, Kaji, the spy guy, is digging for info on what is really going on, like the
Okay.
gods and all this crazy stuff.
'Cause
and
he's
what
like,
the Avas are and all that stuff.
Something weird's happening. No one's telling me. I'm gonna figure this out.
Kind of. He knows. Misato is trying to find out too because she doesn't. And I guess we maybe know at this point. Misato was there on the second impact, obviously, because it was led by her father, this like scientist guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She has daddy issues with him. She
Right.
hates him, but also he saved her life because he put her in this like protective little cask and saved her life. She was the only survivor of the second impact.
Mm.
Mm.
So
Sure.
her like life purpose is to
Seen this.
kill
scene
the
before.
angel. Well,
I don't know why.
she doesn't
but I
know
have.
what happened. She doesn't know what happened, but she thinks basically the angels started killing humans, so she wants to kill all the angels and like rectify her life and save her
Mhm.
father and all that stuff. Get
Mhm.
revenge. So Kaji's trying to figure out like what's going on. Misato's trying to use him to figure it out. Basically, at this point, he gets to like the meat of it, and he is killed
Oh.
because he knows too much.
By who?
All right.
I don't really know, but probably Seal or one of the bad guys.
Seal Team 6 with like 5 extra E's.
So he's killed. Misato find out she's killed. She's pretty upset about it because she actually liked him.
Mm.
They like started getting back together at the end, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay,
That kind of
well,
stuff.
I need to recollect my thoughts. Did Second Impact happen down in Antarctica, or did Second Impact happen up in Japan?
It happened in Antarctica,
Okay.
yes. In
All right.
2000.
So she happened to be in Antarctica with her dad because.
Well, she didn't happen to be there. She was there on purpose, but yes.
Yeah. Because her dad was in charge of the research for.
Yeah, but like boarding
Impact.
schools
Yeah.
exist. He could have left her somewhere else, but
Fran, this whole anime is about like parents bringing their kids because they're like, hey, we need
to
you
make
to
traumatizing
eventually...
experiences.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
Fran, that's yeah.
That's what life
All right.
is.
That's life.
true. Alright.
Well, you prepare the children for the road, Fran. You can't prepare the road for the children.
Okay.
So that happened in like the background, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Asuka still losing her mind. She's like still like mind fucked from the last
Yeah,
angel.
she's been doing
Like
that for, like, a
really
long
not
time.
doing good.
Yeah.
So this angel comes down. Its halo body turned into like basically this, floating energy eel presence, and just like zooms around and kills stuff.
Fun.
It's the
It-
Holy Spirit.
Yeah. So Asuka literally can't pilot her Ava at all. She like can't synchronize enough to even make it move. So it's just like
Oh.
lifeless sitting there. She's useless.
Yeah.
Ray tries to tries to go fight. I think she only has one arm or something. Her Ava's still fucked up.
Because the nuke.
Yeah, because the nuke and all that stuff. So it like this angel like stabs into her and then like starts like fusing with the Ava's body and Ray's body
Hmm.
and like
That seems like not a good thing.
corrupting it basically.
Yeah.
And then they're just like we don't want to send this god Ava 01 out because we don't want it to get corrupted, but also we got to do something because it's the
Mhm.
last one left. So they send him out.
Shinji's
And
just
then-
like, okay.
Shinji's like he didn't really get a chance in this episode. It really wasn't his fault. He didn't get a chance. He instantly got out, and then Ray's just like, I can't let this corrupt Shinji because I want to save her because I want to save him because Ray. Well, no, Ray just like starts to like and respect him and like kind of love him, but not in a mom way, and like it's a different soul, mind you. So not
is a
really
different
perverted
soul.
in that way.
It's the soul of the mother of all humanity, not the soul of
Right.
His
Shinji's
direct
mother,
mother.
specifically.
It's a
Exactly.
different soul, I'll remind
It's
you.
it's
Yeah,
a
it's
different.
not weird.
Listen, it's a different mommy.
It's not
all
weird.
right, all right, all right.
It's normal.
All right.
All right, so she instead sucks the angel into her body.
Right.
She's like, I'm gonna suck you back, and then she does, and then she self-destructs the Ava and
Right.
kills the angel, sacrifices herself. Shinji had to watch, and he's broken again, like he always is.
Classic.
Um,
And Ray is
So
dead.
she is like nothing.
Great.
But
Is the
wait,
Ava gone too?
next episode, yeah, Ava's gone. Next episode, they're just like, "Hey, Shinji, guess what? Ray's alive." And then Misato's like, "What? That's
How is
crazy."
that possible?
That makes no
Probably
sense.
just had
She is
backups.
a vapor.
Yeah, and then at this point, we learn Ritsuko, who like obviously knows stuff about the Ava because she invented them, but she won't tell Misato, her friend, and she's like evil a little bit. She's just like, "All right, I'll show you," and she also is like, "I'm gonna show Shinji too because you guys should know, and I hate you all."
All right, you guys keep asking me. Fine.
Yeah.
You can see how the sausage is
Are there
made.
are there 100
There's just
tubes
multiple.
filled with rays?
Yeah.
There's
just
one
clone
big
bodies.
tube filled with rays. Yes.
Yeah,
a
there's
bunch
a
of
clone bodies, and it's a
Bunch of them.
little
Yep.
pseudo computer brain anyway. So,
Well, the pseudo computer brain is separate. That's what they use to make the dummy plug AI thing.
oh, sorry,
Right.
Lilith
And also
is. They can still just take
Yeah.
the essence of Lilith.
we like to use every part of the ray.
Right. So anyway,
Yeah.
she's just like, check all this shit out. Isn't this crazy? And then she's like, presses a button, and then it vaporizes all of them. She's just like, Ray is a clone. You know, obviously, all this. I hate them. I hate you all. Basically, long and short of it is, her mother, Ritsuko's mother, was the scientist who made the computers.
Uh huh.
She, after Shinji's mom died,
Huh.
started fucking Shinji's dad because everyone wants to fuck Shinji's dad. For
I
no
Yep.
reason.
Come on. Look at him.
So she started doing that, and Shinji actually doesn't like any woman except for his, dead wife, and he just fucks him because he can.
Because he's horny.
Right.
Mhm.
So she's not happy about that. Basically,
Why?
this is now a flashback to Ritsuko's mom, that computer lady. Right after Shinji's mom died, this little Ray baby showed up, or like not baby, like toddler or whatever showed up. But it's like weirdly human, like it's not human, but really like
Adult.
intelligent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost it's like it's got some like kind of prehistoric sentience or whatever. So but she hates that scientist lady because the body recognizes that she's fucking his husband,
Yeah.
her husband, or whatever the fuck.
Okay.
So when she's like, "You stupid hag," pretty much is what happens, and then the scientist like chokes that child to death because she hates her. Because she like kind of realizes sort of what's going on.
So the Ray clone doesn't like that her husband is fucking another guy because
Woman.
she's
Gal.
Another lady.
gal because
Other woman.
she's a baby now, but she knows things only an adult would know. And the friction between this toddler and this other lady that's fucking Shinji's dad rose
To a
to
head.
fever pitch. And the
It
lady
chokes
kills
little toddler
the toddler who's a clone.
Who's Ray? Who is Ray?
Who is Ray?
Yes.
Because
And
Ray
then-
is a multitude.
Yes. She contains multi dudes. So then she like realizes what she's done. She kills herself, and that's kind of crazy. And that
Did
like
Ritsuko
traumatizes
watch?
Ritsuko,
Because-
obviously.
Did Ritsuko
Because
watch
everyone
it?
has
Every
to
other
watch their
child
parents
scene.
kill
She
themselves.
sees the dead body. Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
Okay,
Might
but
as
not the
well.
actual. Maybe.
And now
actual
fast
thing.
forward, Ritsuko is fucking Shinji's dad,
Oh God.
just like
Sure.
her mom before. Everyone loves him except for
Actually fucking.
whatever. Yes, actually fucking.
Oh.
But Gendo doesn't care about her, obviously, and then she realizes he doesn't care about her, so she's like, "I'm gonna get back at you by
Doing
Telling
the
your-
same thing.
telling your kid about all this crazy shit going on." So then Shinji's a bit upset about this fact about the Ray.
I
the Ray
literally,
thing
I
happening.
literally don't even know how I would feel about it at that point. I would be
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So he doesn't trust anyone except for Asuka because Ray's this clone bitch.
Uh-huh.
Misato knows a little bit too much. I don't
Right.
really trust her. But all he wants to do is like, sympathize with Asuka, but she is literally comatose, broken soul,
Oh.
can't function.
Mm-hmm.
Next, Angel,
the last one, presumably.
last one. Well, okay, so a fifth child is found, like the
Oh.
pilot.
Okay.
Randomly. It's this child named Kwaru. It's this like kid. He's kind of crazy. He's like the best pilot, like synchronizes instantly perfectly. He's like no one knows anything about him. They're like, this is too fishy. This is weird. They're trying to figure out what's his deal.
How?
But he befriends Shinji.
Okay.
How do they find these children? Like you keep saying they find
just
them,
do. They just do.
but
It's
like
science.
every
Science,
other
friend.
child
Science.
But every other child is traumatized by their adult having
We'll
worked
get
in
to
this
it. We'll
company.
get to it. We'll get to it.
Beans, I missed subsection 3 of the Sea Scrolls that said that there would be one more child right about now.
Right. Yeah.
But
so
they have to be traumatized by someone who was in the organization.
Everyone is also wondering the same thing. They're like,
Okay.
why is he suddenly here? What's going on?
Okay. All right.
They're trying to figure it out, but at the same time, this kid is like nice to Shinji, and it's like basically the first person who is like nice to Shinji, and he's like
from the get-go.
doesn't know how. Yeah, and he doesn't know how to. He's not used to this feeling, and there are homosexual undertones.
Okay.
They basically start developing a bond or whatever, and Shinji blushes and all this kind of stuff.
He jacks him off and it's like
He doesn't actually jack him off yet, but
Not yet.
so that's kind of going on.
okay.
And then
I'm gonna say that
know-
Shinji is either gonna become pansexual or asexual, but I don't know which one yet.
yeah, we'll find out.
Find out next time.
So this is kind of all character building stuff going on. Long and short of it is Kwaru was sent by Seal. He's a plant. He is the 17th angel. He is Tabris. Whatever. He is the soul of
humanity.
He is the soul of Adam inside a human body.
Inside a human body. So
Okay.
he is as Ray.
He is the opposite of Ray, basically. Yeah.
Right. He's the alchemical opposite, the masculine to the feminine.
Right.
Opposite.
So he is like, he's kind of like all powerful, pretty much. He synchronizes instantly with the Avas because they're of his flesh. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's sent there specifically to trigger the third impact because he's gonna come in contact with he's gonna like. They think Adam's body is in the basement, so that he's gonna go in there and fuse with the body and become Adam again. And
as Adam is the
How-
body and the soul reconnecting,
Combine.
recreating, eclipsing, becoming as one.
But
but
hold on.
What? What? What?
They had a Lilith.
Yeah, we don't know.
And
that.
they split the
We
soul
don't know that
from the
yet.
body.
No.
We
I
don't know
know
that yet.
But then, like, how did Adam's soul not
I'm
be with
working on
Adam?
it.
Okay. Ugh.
Okay.
Fran
So he
always,
goes in the
Fran always
basement.
does this. She always asks.
I know it
questions.
drives me
Patient.
wild when I listen to the show.
I want to know things.
I'm getting to it.
Ugh.
He gets in the basement. He thinks Adam's gonna be there. He thinks he's gonna get in. He's like, "This is Lilith. This isn't Adam. This is weird." And then he like kind of realizes what's going on. And then Shinji's in there trying to stop him. And he's like, Kwaru's floating around and like just floating around with his human body. And he's controlling Ava 02, Asuka's Ava, like mentally. Like
Sure.
he's outside of it, but it's being
Yeah.
controlled.
Right,
And
sure.
Shinji is in his Ava, fighting that Ava, trying to be like, Kwaru, stop this. What are you doing? You
I
know, all
see.
this
Okay.
stuff. I thought we were friends.
I thought what we had was special.
Right. So he finally beats the Ava just as Kwaru like sees.
That's
that
gotta
it's
be
Lilith.
another big hit for Asuka, even though she wasn't even piloting this time. It's like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
Shinji kicked the
Poor
shit out
girl.
of my Eva. That's
Pretty much.
rough.
Yeah. So and then he's just like, huh, okay. Or Kwaru's like, huh, all right. Shinji, I want you to kill me. And then Shinji's like, I don't want to kill you. You're my only friend. And he's like, you have to, otherwise you're gonna die too, or like instead, or whatever. And he's like, I
Or
want you to live
something.
instead. I want you to live instead of me, so you have to kill me. And then the show likes to do this thing where like they just do a still, and then they have like ambient sound, but it's like literally 2 minutes of just like a still while you like think about what's going on. It's like very suspenseful.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's that-
called a
A budget.
what's the word? Cost saving measure. It's animation.
No, it's on purpose.
Yeah, it's on purpose
Okay.
because they don't have to pay animators for 2 minutes of animation.
No. They spared no
sound.
expense.
It's very artistic.
It's on
They
purpose.
spared expenses, I'm sure.
So that culminates with him crushing the body and killing him because he had to.
So he does it. He actually does a
He
kill.
does it. He does a kill. And he's a little bit broken up about it, as you can imagine.
Yeah, he was pretty against that with the fourth
He
child.
was against it, but this isn't a human technically, and he realized that. So he's like, he knows it's an angel.
I love that that's what you go to because I know if you, Mishka, were given the task to murder a person, you'd be like, I don't really want to murder them. And I'd be like, oh, well, it's not a human. You'd be like, oh, okay. You fucking snap its neck. Like a fucking
That's an angel. It's here to destroy humanity.
you just crack its neck open like those Kool-Aid fucking bottles with the plastic ones.
Yeah, right. So he does that.
Love it.
So after this episode, there are 2 episodes left in the original series,
Mhm.
25 and 26.
But they're not canon, I heard.
But they're basically not canon. They take place
Tell me more.
entirely in Shinji's psyche.
Yeah.
Also kind of Asuka and Rei's psyche, but it's like pretty much like a lot of like I am who I am and I am because other people are too, and we have to, coexist and learn about ourselves and each other. And all
We
that.
are consciousness experiencing itself.
Right. So those 2 episodes are Shinji's experience in human instrumentality when his father triggered it and they all became one consciousness, basically.
Oh, so he got to do the thing he was trying to do.
He did the thing, yeah.
When?
So
Yeah,
that's
his
like
father's
how
a
d-
Chad.
how did
it,
he-
it just
When?
it's totally off screen. Just happened.
God.
And that's why everyone is a
Shinji,
little
it's-
bit upset about those 2 episodes.
Shinji, it's me, your dad. I combined human consciousness into one incorporeal form. It was between episodes, Shinji.
Listen, Shinji, we are all our own consciousness experiencing mommy issues.
This is what your mom wanted, Shinji. I know, she's here. It's me, Shinji. This is what I
Right.
wanted.
And there's like this he's
Clearly
like
a puppet
learning
dad.
right, and he's learning about like, that kind of stuff, and like there's a part of it where it's like a slice of life episode of like an alternate reality where like his mom and his dad are still alive and they're like his actual parents, and he's childhood friends with Asuka, who like she likes him but he doesn't like her, see her that way.
Yeah.
And then Ray's like a new exchange student and she's all like hot and she's actually like normal, so they like get kind of
This is not
things
undertones
happen
of
with each
mommy
other.
issues with them.
Right.
This is
And
Gurren Lagann did this better, I think.
I mean, I'm really trying to blow through it. It was.
I know it
you
sounds
have to
boring.
see
It sounds boring as shit. So
Yeah.
I'm
This was
fine.
2 episodes?
Well,
This was
let's talk
basically
about
2
the
of them.
time
The
that
two-
they did it better.
The 2
Yeah, I will.
finales.
Yes. So that culminates. Last episode, final scene in the movie is like
The series?
Shinji. Like it's like of the series. Right. It's illustrated as like he's like in like a theater on a chair in like the middle of the
Ugh.
stage, and like a fold up chair, and then like everyone is around him telling him all this stuff about himself and humanity, and it culminates with him like getting up and be like, I understand, I want to be alive now. And then they all like clap and they're like, congratulations, Shinji. And that's literally the end of the series. And it's very like it's a big cuck. It doesn't feel good.
But he wants
you
to
can-
live now.
Yeah, he wants to live, but nothing happened. The robots, you never know, there's no like climax. It's very annoying.
The climax is he's not depressed anymore. He fixes depression.
Did we-
Yeah, that's no good.
You have not answered my questions, but are you going to?
Of what? Of what?
We've got a whole movie to get through.
We got a
friend.
whole movie too.
Technically, it's like 8 fine.
Movies, but
Okay.
Yeah.
How
Just-
about
just
only,
the good
only
one.
one of them's canon.
Let me,
Yes.
and
So-
this is a good time for me to point out that I know for a fact that people on the internet say that literally everything is canon, even the things that contradict each other.
They totally I frankly don't know anything about them because they're so weird.
They
I know
Listen,
that
we-
that in the last one, Misato is now basically Gendo. She hates Shinji for triggering the 3rd impact. She's like the general now, and she's trying to stop the 4th impact, and it's all this really crazy shit.
4th impact, Christ,
and
they just
all these
cannot
characters,
stop
all these
triggering
characters
impact.
exist, but in different forms. And like Kuaru's like a regular kid in this one. It's all fucked up. I don't want to talk about it.
Apparently,
Listen,
it's apparently. Listen, all I know is that apparently there is a hint to multiverse somewhere within all of this, and people are like, "Oh, it's all canon then. It's all happening at the same time. Different multiverses converging into
no-
the
Yeah,
singularity
sure.
or whatever."
Multiverse is bad. We've said that before,
Yep.
but also
Yeah.
No good.
we pull
Bad
on
lore.
lore masters so that they can tell us the lore,
True.
not some random
yeah,
internet
yeah.
boys.
Fuck those guys. If you don't agree with Mishka, tweet at him somehow.
I want
and
to,
Just
but
find him
you
on
do.
Steam.
and-
Tweet at Mishka.
at Mishka and
Not gonna tell you how to spell it.
and we'll all fight you. You guys get your strongest friends together. We'll get ours, and we'll see what happens.
It was I will pilot a giant robot made from my mommy's soul, and you can, I don't know, do something cooler than that, please.
Okay, so people were upset.
Yeah.
They
I'm upset.
I kind of agree with them now.
Yeah. So I don't know like chronologically how it happened. Like 5 or some amount of years later, they're like, fine, we'll do it for real. So they did like the what happened in like the real life while that happened
Sure.
basically. It's called The End of Evangelion is the name of the movie.
It wasn't.
That's it is.
I mean, it's,
Oh, it wasn't the
It's two
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, as Fran said, there's 2 other movies. Those it's called like the Death and Rebirth, and those are pretty much just recaps of the show in movie form. And
Right.
then
Okay.
there's Death, Rebirth, and then The End of Evangelion.
Okay.
But the first 2 are pretty much the show, and the show's
Sure.
better.
And
So.
that's whatever. Okay.
Yep.
So we're in the last
That was
one
very that was
actually
that
matters.
was very common. They would just redo a whole season of an anime as a movie.
They still do
They
that.
do that to
Yeah.
this day.
Mhm.
It's great.
All right, so we're in the End of Evangelion. Pretty much picks up where like the killing Kaworu had like left off. Pretty
Mhm.
much,
Okay.
like Kaworu's dead. Asuka's comatose in a hospital bed. Shinji is like, Asuka, I need you to help me, and then she's like trying to shake her awake, and he shakes her too hard, and her gown flies open. He's just like, whoa.
Boobies.
Locks the door.
Humana.
Right.
Oh, this
Locks
is where
the
this
door.
happens? Gross.
Yes, this
Yeah.
is where this happens.
So-
First,
God.
like basically the first scene of the movie.
That's not how you want to start a movie. The pacing
works.
The pacing is
It's great.
where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Anywhere,
Um,
really.
So
Anywhere,
yeah, Jack-
Fran?
I guess.
Prison is the place to go from there.
Ugh.
Yeah. So he jacks off to
To
her unconscious,
unconscious body because
Oh my
he
God.
shook her and her boobs fell out and that made him
Mhm.
horny.
And him horny. So
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the time to take care of it. Got it. Okay.
Well, what else is he gonna do?
It's just-
Yeah. I mean,
Not that.
Go to a
Honestly.
different room,
So-
I guess.
I guess it's worth filling in here that
Make this right, Ethan.
the creator of the series fucking hates the audience of his show.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
And so it has sort of been said that, like, Shinji is the character or is the audience insert,
Modified,
Mhm.
yeah.
and he
wants to make
he
them
the
pathetic.
creator is saying at this point, you all are disgusting and I fucking hate you all.
I can't
Okay.
imagine making a thing just to make it so that the people who like that thing, I would be like, I hate these kinds of people. I can't imagine doing something like that.
Right.
That is the internet lore, is that it's just like, yeah, he hates all of the fans of this show very much and wants them to know that
He put his
They're-
character. They put his
the charac-
characters through a lot. In fairness, the
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so
that
Shinji.
happens. It's really not that important, but
No.
it's
But everyone talks about. I mean, we've
Or it's the
basically
most
just been
important.
talking about that for the last 2 months since we decided
Right.
to do this episode.
Yeah.
Um.
so that happens.
Okay. There's really, there was such a buildup in my life about talking about this one moment, and I really just don't have anything to say, which is very weird.
I mean, and now you're finished, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now
And
you
I
feel you
shame.
look at your hand
Yep.
full of semen and you think to yourself, I'm so fucked up.
I wish I didn't do that, but it doesn't work that way.
So after that happens,
Moving on.
some like character development, like Misato's like trying to get to the bottom of stuff more, basically. It's like kind of
It's like, where did all this come
it's the
come
beginning
from?
of a movie, so they're like trying to like build, suspense and all
Sure.
that stuff.
Mhm.
They assume
Yeah.
people didn't just watch 24 episodes of the show.
Right. It's been
Um,
5
fools.
years or whatever since the
Right.
show came out.
So basically the next important thing that happens is Seal is like, all right, we're triggering the impact now. And they launch a attack on Nerve, a human attack,
Okay.
because there's no more angels left.
Right.
So they just like infiltrate the base, and the people at Nerve aren't really used to killing other people. They're used to killing angels. So they're like, we can't kill people. They're basically like kind of like Shinji, but they're just not out of like they refuse to, they're just not good at it. So they just get their
Sure.
asses whooped. And they
all
get-
of our guns are gigantic rail guns. What for using all of the city's
Hey,
electricity?
This is literally Star Wars. So like they'd never expect a bunch of small ships to attack our big planet-sized
Right.
spacecraft.
They're being attacked, and the attackers are trying to like kill the pilots and like trigger.
That being said,
the
you
third
put
impact.
one Ava in there, like no amount of human beats that.
Right, but they aren't in the Avas because Asuka's fucked up. Rey is not. She's there,
I thought she was.
Her Ava got
goo.
fucked. No,
her
she got.
Ava
They
got
had
fucked.
more clones
yeah,
of her.
her
Remember?
Ava got fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they killed all the clones. She was like.
yeah, but that was right after they
she
made
flushed
the
them.
last one.
They made the
They made
last
the
one,
last-
and then she got rid of the rest.
I see.
Yeah. So, but she like doesn't really know what like she is amnesia, doesn't really know exactly what happened, but she knows that she's like the third version of Rey. And
Sure.
Sure.
anyway, so Asuka unconscious, they put her in the Ava, they stick her at the bottom of a lake to just like hide her because they don't want them to kill her.
I don't
pretty
know.
much.
This is probably fine.
And then Shinji
Big
is
cord. He'll never
just
find us.
killed Kwaru, his only friend he thought,
Yep.
and he just like is just being a crybaby again. What do you
Yep.
know? Misato basically spends the first like 20 minutes, 30 minutes trying to convince him to get in the robot Shinji. She like saves his life right before a guy's about to blow his brains out, and then she's like trying to get him back to his Ava, and she gets shot like right toward the end, right when they're like right next to the Avas basically, and then
No.
she's like kind of sad about it, but not that sad about it really.
No, my roommate.
Yeah, he's just like watching, kind of. I mean, he's like already like depressed and in shock, and like he just kind of doesn't
He's
really
got
make it any worse.
he's got post nut clarity.
Yeah, basically.
don't
I mean, this
need-
is like right.
I don't need these.
Um,
women. I don't need this life.
So Misato, like, basically, like, she's like dying, kind of, but she like puts on a strong face, and she's just like, it's not that bad, and she gives Shinji the spiel, like, basically, like, I
Get
won't
in the-
make
get in the
you get in
robot,
the
Shinji."
robot, but you need to find out yourself if you should get in the robot, and if you don't, you can just crawl up and die, and then I will never forgive you, but it's your choice, basically.
But I'm only gonna be around for another couple minutes anyway.
Well,
so.
actually, she gives him a kiss, and she's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if you get in the robot, there's more in for it, when you
Oh
come
my
back. Pretty much.
Nice.
Oh, that works every time.
That'll
It did
She's
work.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, would you not bang a 14-year-old if it meant
No.
you would save the world?
If you would save the world,
Save
Fran,
the world, Fran?
that's fucked up. Of
That
you.
is fucked up. That's very
No.
selfish of you, in fact.
Anyway, she only kissed him, so it's not
Yeah.
that bad.
Yeah, and there's a
Um,
lot. There's a whole spectrum of stuff above kiss that isn't just,
Yeah.
doing sex with.
So,
a 14-year-old.
She kisses him, pushes him in the elevator.
Mhm.
Elevator takes off. She like falls down and basically dies.
Yep. The
know,
elevator
rest in
goes
peace.
up and opens up. His dad's on like one of the floors and just closes and keeps going up.
Yeah, not quite. He's actually busy because he is trying to trigger his own instrumentality project,
Right.
which pretty much at the same time is he has infused the body of Adam, which is in this like embryonic state, basically. Like
Right.
the second impact,
Sure.
like
Sure.
regressed him pretty much.
Yeah.
It's in his
Unbirthed
hand.
him. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
It's in his hand,
Okay.
and then
Is it like a
Ray-
cell, like one single sperm?
no, it's like a little eyeball kind of on his hand here.
Uh-huh.
Ray, he like tries to use Ray, who is the soul of Lilith, as
Uh-huh.
like the contact. So he has the body of Adam and the soul of
Yeah.
Ray, and he like
She's the egg.
Puts-
That's the sperm, literally.
yeah,
but,
he puts his hand, which with the Adam on it, on her titty, and then goes
Right.
into her titty, into her
Okay.
body to like
Okay.
fuse them,
Mhm.
and she basically refuses.
Oh.
She's like, I care about Shinji now, not you. And
Oh.
she's like fuses like the hand into her body. His arm falls off. Like
Oh.
the hand comes off, stays inside her,
Ugh.
pretty much.
Okay.
And then he's just like, "How could you betray me?" or whatever. And
I
she's just like, "I
made
have
you
to save
and-
Shinji."
Okay.
So she is now. They're in the basement next to the Lilith body. She floats into the Lilith body, and the big Lilith, like white, literally color white, like
Mm-hmm.
humanoid
Uh-huh.
shape, turns into a big naked Ray.
Oh,
Called the giant
sure.
naked Ray.
Oh, thank
Sure.
God.
God.
I
The
know
GNR.
the GNR exactly. So she is like, this is like starting the instrumentality thing. At that same time, Asuka has woken up in her like little slumber in her Ava.
Right at the bottom of the lake.
She realized. Yep. She hears her mother's voice. She realizes her mother's voice is in the Ava all along. She's just like, you've been watching over this whole time. You don't hate me. You don't want me to die. You love me.
Mm-hmm.
And then she like wakes up. They synchronize. Like the Ava goes berserk basically.
Nice.
Mhm.
And she just is awake, and Misato calls her. She's like, Asuka, you need to kill
I'm dying
all these
over
Avas."
here.
No, this is actually a little bit before. That's a kind of
Oh,
forgot.
okay.
But she's like,
Okay.
you got to kill all these Avas. Because
Avas?
the other Avas that the robots the seal was building have been
Oh.
completed, and they have S2 drives
Ah.
in them, which means they have no power source, and they're not piloted by
Mm.
humans. They're just like big.
Mhm.
AI gods. We've
Yeah.
made our own gods. This is what
Yeah.
Elon wants, et cetera, et
Right.
cetera.
Mm.
So she wakes up and she just shits on them all. She kills
Nice.
like all 8 of them or whatever. Like not, she does it in like 5 minutes before her battery runs out.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. Last second, her battery is like runs out, and one of the angels like gets her. Basically, like one of the angels gets back up or something like that, or one of the Avas, and then throws. They all have their own spears of Longinus. Like,
Oh no.
no, I
Wow.
know.
They made more?
They made more. Yeah.
You can do that?
Why wouldn't you?
Right. So it like impales her, and she just like dies basically, and all the Avas
Yeah.
like get back up because they're totally fine because they just regenerated, and she's like, fuck, it was all for nothing, pretty much. All the Avas get back up, literally like their wings come out. They have like they look like angels pretty much,
Cool.
and also kind of like like eagles or birds of prey, and they like flock to her and start eating the Ava's body. And while you're in an Ava, you feel like what the Ava feels.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's like feels her eyes and everything being ripped out. She's like in pure agony.
Oh my god.
At this point, Shinji's Ava has woken up, and it was like trapped in this like goo basically, so he couldn't get in it, and he was just like being a baby crying about it.
The goo.
And the Ava wakes up, breaks out of some like it's restraints and stuff, and then like he gets in and he's like ready to save
It's
the
like,
day.
"Hump."
Yeah,
They get
and
at
then
it.
he comes out of the base, and first thing he sees is Asuka getting just like literally torn apart.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then he like loses his shit. And it looks like he's gonna do something really cool and like go Super Saiyan and like kill everyone, but he does nothing, which is just sad.
That's very Shinji, though.
The Avas like start triggering the prophecy and like pick him up basically and like crucify him pretty much in like the sky, and they're
Not
like
pretty much. They do.
yeah, they do. And they like orbit around the crucifixion, and it looks like the Jewish like tree of life image that you may have seen. Yeah. Yes, it looks like that. And it's like, oh, the prophecy is coming.
The Kabbalah. Sorry.
Yeah, and they're like, God, God save us. It's
Mhm.
happening. And at the same time, this is when the giant naked Ray comes out of the earth in her, massive godly naked body, and like starts the
Heard how you
impact
said
where
that.
she touches Shinji, and they like triggers the impact. And what happens is,
Why?
like I said, because they want all
She's-
humans to return to goo and become one.
But how does her touching him trigger the impact?
It just does.
Because
Great.
Huh? Well, because
She-
now,
has
Because
Lilith's
she has-
brain, right?
She
has
is
Lilith's
Lilith
body.
now, is
She-
she
oh,
not?
yeah,
She is Lilith. She is Lilith,
is
and
Lilith,
his
yeah.
Ava's made out of Adam, and she
No,
has
his-
No,
Adam's
his
soul.
is made out of Lilith, but
no,
there needs
she's
to be a
got
sacrifice.
both parts in her.
Yeah,
Right,
but there
she's-
needs to be he's like the sacrifice. Like,
Got it,
he's the,
okay.
He's the
starts
lamb.
yeah.
Okay,
You gotta
So-
sacrifice a goat, Fran, if you want to do this
Right.
shit.
sure.
So it basically starts, and what happens is everyone you like see like a lot of the major characters, and you see their bodies, and they just like literally pop and turn into goo.
Ugh.
And it's their their consciousnesses uniting into like what is Rey now. Basically, they're like all flowing into her.
Okay.
It's kind of like the spirit bomb.
So how is this sticking it
Kinda like
to?
that.
How is she
What?
sticking it to Shinji's dad then? Because
Well,
I thought the whole
ye-
thing was she's like, "Fuck you, guy."
Yeah, I know.
like
It's very
Shinji
weird because
now."
like right.
how does this?
She's really not.
okay.
Right.
She's really
Doesn't
not. And she's
actually.
everything's happening exactly as everyone
As he
wanted it
wants.
to, but they
yeah.
wanted it to happen slightly differently, so they're not. This is not according to plan, but it ended up working out in their favor, basically.
Everything worked out
Because
fine for
everyone
them.
gets to live
Okay.
in a giant
In a
anime
giant goo.
girl's body.
And a giant mommy. Yeah.
Right. So
This is how it
that
ends?
happens. No. This starts happening.
Not yet.
And like basically Rey and Shinji are like in this, this realm or whatever, talking to each other, and they're like saying, we're all becoming one. Basically, it's kind of like the last 2 episodes, like the talking kind of a thing.
Right.
Mhm.
We're all becoming one kind of a thing. And then Shinji's just like, I actually don't want this. Turns out, and then Rey's just like, all right. And then it all pretty much gets undone.
What?
How everyone
Yeah, sure.
unbecomes goo.
And they
And
just go back to what they were doing.
I don't, it doesn't show anyone except for Asuka and Shinji, but it's kind of implied they just like plop back out and
Cool.
they're people again. They don't really know what the fuck happened. But
Is Rey a god now?
Rey is, yeah, I think she's dead. It killed her. This
Oh.
like denying her.
Okay.
So Shinji gets plopped out. Asuka's plopped back out. Basically the last scene is Shinji laying or like kneeling over her body. Like she's laying down. They were both laying down on this beach. Shinji like gets up and starts choking her.
What?
Start choking Asuka.
Choking Asuka because he's upset with her for not liking him or something. He's just got problems.
Okay.
He just combined consciousness with all of humanity for a moment. He doesn't have any like perspective still.
Well, he does. He's just a little troubled.
It turns out that combining your consciousness with all of humanity actually makes you pretty violent towards women.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's a rough one.
But then she like becomes uncomatose, and she touches his face tenderly, and then he like stops choking her, and then he starts crying, and she's like, "You're pathetic," and that's how it ends.
Ugh.
Yay.
What lesson are we to learn from?
It's up to
Nothing.
the reader's discretion.
That's the laziest shit. I didn't have a
No.
lesson, so you're supposed to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, as we've said, the creator does not like.
So basically, he was just given a big lump sum of money and be like,
Wow.
"Hey, dude, you know what? People need a different ending. They need more information. How much money do you need to make that happen?" He's like, "I really fucking hate my fans. I don't want to
Oh
do shit.
my god.
Well, here's
I,
a bigger lump sum of money." He's like, "You know what? Fine, I'll do it." And then this
can't
is what
believe
happened.
that.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, at this point, that's kind of when it ends, and then that's all that there is in the original, like in that media.
Yeah.
But now we can talk about how, with research, I've learned the other like the backfilled facts that the show didn't
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, like I said, that the Adam and Lilith were the seeds of life. The show didn't really talk about that too much.
No.
Adam was destined to be on Earth, like I said. Lilith, they're like basically in these like they're called these little moons. It's like this like basically a planet they like live
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
They're like embryonic states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The like god race is dead, so they have these like little seeds floating around.
Mhm.
The spear of each of those moons has the spear of Longinus on it, and its sole purpose is to prevent two of these seeds from combining because they'll become gods, and it'll be the impact kind of a problem.
Okay.
Their two moon, like Adam was on Earth, Lilith's moon collided with the Earth.
Oh. That,
And,
that happened in real. That's how the
Theories.
moon was made.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. That's how the moon was made. And the Lilith spear of Longinus was like lost or something, or like broke or something, and that
They're
happened.
always losing.
Uh-huh.
They're always losing this shit.
Right.
Yeah,
So Adam's is activated and like turned him into this like the embryo that was in the Antarctic, and like so Adam was not able to like prosper, and Lilith
Okay.
was, and it made humanity, and Adam somehow had offspring already, but they like left, and now they're like coming back or waking up or whatever, and they're like mad that Lilith's offspring are here and not them, so they're like trying to destroy it basically.
Those are the angels.
Those are the
Yes.
angels.
Okay.
I mean that's mostly it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't think any better of the series.
Yeah,
now,
I'm
but
still
I do
confused.
feel more informed.
I'm still confused as to why people put this up on such a pedestal. I guess I'm still lost.
You really gotta
there.
watch it. You really gotta. Watch
Ah,
Because we don't like to
Ah.
do that here, Mischka, where we're like that sort of undermines the whole show, It's like, well, just go watch it. Yeah, that's kind of
it. Well, I mean, to like it, you know what's going on now, but in order to appreciate, you really gotta experience all of the whining.
I don't know.
do I?
I feel like I relate too much to like a suicidal middle schooler, so I
Exactly.
don't really need any more of that. But
You don't need more of that in your life.
But thank you, Mischka, for coming on, for teaching us about the ways of Evangelion. and preparing us, I think, all for the moment in time in the future when probably Elon combines all of our consciousnesses into one unified AI entity that then somehow is probably monetized on a monthly subscription service. I'm looking forward to it, and everyone can say that we knew it was going to happen first. We have proof now, and I don't know.
It'll
It
be
won't
part
change.
of that mass
Yeah, it won't
consciousness.
change anything, but it's gonna make our eternity fused with the one consciousness a little bit nicer. Where we're like, hey, someone's coming. See?
Yeah.
I sure do love being right about bad things that are going to happen.
Yeah.
Not gonna say I told you so.
I will say I told you so. I'll also say you've reached the end of another episode. That's right. Thank you guys so much for listening to our episode on Evangelion. I want to thank Mischka for coming out, for doing the research, putting in the legwork. He wanted to do it anyway. He was just looking for an excuse to watch Evangelion again. So, we also want to thank Galestorm Kitsune for doing the artwork for the podcast, and we want to thank Apacho for doing the intro and outro songs. It is as good as a Cruel Angel's Thesis. I think that's the name of the song, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. If I could do a karaoke song in Japanese, I would learn.
Pick that one?
I
Yeah.
started to learn the Japanese words for that song, so maybe I'll finish that. So I've got a good one.
Banger.
How do you guys want to end? I feel empty. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like a husk, an Eva without a boy. That's my son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you would like, CJ, your dress could just slip open and I could, I've been Ethan.
That's Fran. Usually that's when you say I've been Fran.
Yeah, but like, are we just going out of order then? Okay. All right. I've been Fran. CJ's supposed to start. That's why I'm very confused.
And I've been CJ, and I don't have any mommy issues, so don't at me.